I yo let me see. Hello. Yo. Yeah, so I should be live. So yeah, I'm going to be responding to some videos. Is this a video that's actually pretty good as far as I've seen it? It looks really nice. We're gonna take a look at that. I don't actually really know anything about Trump. Yeah, basically basically all I know about him is that he's fucking hilarious and a lot of fun. Like apparently, like yeah, his policies are garbage. He's just like uh super fucking hyper right wing fucking lunatic. Like he's basically a clown, but. Yeah, I genuinely was glad that he won in 2016. I knew it would be a lot of fun, and look, I don't tend to care about politics as my life matter. Like, politics has never influenced my life, really, in any way. I don't think it will. Like, yeah, before I started watching politics, it never influenced me. Like, that type of shit doesn't tend to influence me. Maybe it affects people who have a job and work when I'll have to pay my student loan debt and I'll be like, fuck, dude, I wish I'd stolen this money from someone else. You know what? But like, yeah, basically, we're gonna talk about this. Trump says some pretty dumb shit. But as usual, I don't really know Trump. A lot of people say he's racist. Honestly, now I wouldn't be surprised about it. Like that's basically how I found out about Trump. Like I was never interested in him or anything that he had to say. I always sort of knew that I disagreed with him politically. Like from what I had heard of him, but I didn't really know the guy. I was never like interested in him or like his speeches. He didn't seem like an interesting person, just seemed uninteresting to listen to. His voice is unappealing and shit. So like yeah, I just fucking saw a bunch of fucking videos just completely slandering him and like just hammering him as a fucking racist and shit. Like I just saw like right like that's when he started like being known. That's how I found out about him. Just everybody was just having mental fucking breakdown after mental breakdown from all over the place about dumb shit. So yeah, I just got fucking fed up with it. Like I was just like, yeah, this is fucking cancer. I'm not interested in this guy. So yeah, I don't really know anything about him. Like during his entire presidential run, like I wasn't interested in politics. I didn't watch politics shit. I just heard here and there, hey, did you hear Donald Trump did some dumb shit? And it's like, hell fucking yeah, dude. I just thought that was a meme. So I don't really know anything about anything Trump did. I don't know him. I don't know anything about really his politics or anything. But yeah, we're also gonna watch this video from um, the majority from Sam Setter. Now, Sam Setter is like one of the people who like do this shit the most, where like he will just attack anybody who he politically disagrees with. Like he will give them the least charitable interpretation of what they're saying and just try to find some fucking other meaning in it to try to smear them. And yeah, this happens a lot with shit like they try to go towards either racism or fucking or either racism or fascism. And yeah, that's often a thing. Just like on the right, that's often a slur. Like fucking communist. Like people will often just try to smear their opponents who politically disagree with them by trying to make them seem more far left or more far right to basically try to devalue their position to basically try to make them seem more extreme. Like, yeah, that apparently this that fucking retard Majorie Taylor Greene called someone a communist groomer. Um, Now, yeah, I do agree that groomer is a slur. I don't go outside. I just watch the Humanist Report and Tucker Carlson, and like I can agree to that idea. Groomer is a slur. Like, yeah, it is used in like yeah, it is used like against trans people. Like that is a growing trend to call them groomers, and none of the accusations of grooming that are made like towards the LGBT community are true. Like, yeah, it's all bigotry. So now, thing is, you could also make the case like communist is a slur towards the left, a groomer is a slur towards LGBT people. Um, like, yeah, you could say that fascist and racist are slurs towards the right. Now, communist groomer. Yeah, what a lazy. You could have just called them a nigger faggot. That's just a lot more fucking funny, honestly. I don't know why she didn't just do that, but yeah, here, like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, trying to throw some positions to try to make them seem more extreme. Now, Sam Setter will usually do that. He loves just giving his opponents the most uncharitable interpretation of anything they say and just try to put ideas in their mouth. Now, yeah, he legit lies about people. He isn't a very honest person. I don't think he does it on purpose. I think he just hates these people. But yeah, basically, Ben Shapiro is gonna argue in favor of property rights, and yeah, in favor of business rights and property rights, and Sam Sutter is gonna accuse him of being for segregation. Sort of like he will accuse Tucker Carlson of being a white supremacist for being a nationalist. Because, yeah, white nationalist, those two words go well together, huh? It's like, yeah, I can agree, some ideas do tend to go together. Like, I would not be surprised if the majority of Americans who actually are racist
All right, y'all. Welcome to.
hate gay people as well. Like you could definitely blame religion for that to some extent, but yeah, then remember, if you're gonna blame Christianity, you could also blame Islam and all the other religions. So yeah, like people don't really tend to follow their religions.
The
Anyway, I'm getting
show.
off topic here.
Uh,
Let me go see this video, then I'm gonna see that video, which is absolutely full of cancer. So here we go.
all right, y'all. Welcome to the show. What's the date today? November 16th, 2022. Got a lot of stuff to
Oh
talk about. It
fucking yeah.
happened. It happened last night, dog. One Donald J. Trump. I believe the J stands for Jehovah. Donald.
Dude, I love how he did that fucking like dramatic thing. Like I remember, I think I saw him on Sean Hannity like at some point saying, "Oh yeah, I've definitely made up my mind about whether or not I'm running." And it's like, yeah, just announce it. Now, like, yeah, I am sad to see that like he is fucking himself up with the DeSantis thing. I don't know why he did that. That's like the stupidest thing he could have done for himself. Just go after Ron DeSantis. Like, yeah, with the Ron DeSantimony shit. Well, he taught me a new vocabulary word, so thank you for that. But, yeah, like, that was pretty bad. Few people are saying, like, oh, yeah, it's the election lie that got... I don't think it was that. I think it was mostly, fucking over on DeSantis and the midterms. But like, yeah, he was already starting to lose massive support before the midterm. But I mean, what do you know? He promoted Herschel Walker, and apparently he was pleading Herschel to run up, and that's really weird.
Jehovah's
Okay,
Witness Trump decided he's going to run for president again. And he did a little old Launchington. And we're going to go through it. I got a whole bunch of clips to show you. We'll talk about it. The general
Jesus
takeaway
Christ.
is it was pretty low energy.
Yeah, I watched a good bit of
Donald
this video.
Jehovah's Witness Trump turned
Yeah, to be fair, people say that about Joe Biden too. That's
into
like, yeah, there's just, yeah, they should just have younger people be fucking president. Honestly, you don't need like 70 years of experience in life to be president. Like, yeah, we should maybe have some younger fucking presidents. But I would rather see Trump than DeSantis win for president in 2024. I think that'd be a lot more fucking hilarious. I think that'd be a lot more fun.
low energy a Jeb a Bush. So a lot to say about that. I also have some of the new polls that came out around Trump versus DeSantis and whether or not people even want Trump to
Oh
run
yeah,
and all that
fuck.
stuff. Later on,
Thing is, like, I don't care about Trump's politics. I think it's like probably all just bullshit he's pulling out of his ass, right? But like, I would want to see him win. I'd be curious, like for the memes, strictly for fucking memes, dude. I want nothing to do with this like transphobic and type of like. Yeah, the guy's in favor of genociding um people for being in favor of bodily autonomy.
in the
So
show,
yeah, I'm talking about the opioid dealers getting the death
we will
penalty
get
thing.
to DeSantis responding to the jabs that Trump took at him. We have
I
World
don't
War
remember
III
that.
fears as Poland gets hit with a missile. Of course, Poland
Oh
is a
fuck!
NATO
Wait,
country.
wasn't that a long time ago? Wait, how old is this? This is pretty new, right? Holy shit! Is this like? Is this an old video? When was this? Oh, 4 weeks. Okay, I guess it's. Oh, it's definitely much older than I thought, but it's not
Country, so
too
people are
old.
scared that Article 5 is going to be invoked, which would mean literal World War III. And then also,
Okay, good thing
the
that
Senate
didn't
has reached a
happen.
deal on protecting gay marriage. We're going to talk about that. First of all, why the Senate even has to do that, right? Because you might, what are you talking about, Kyle? Gay marriage is already the law of the land. Why would they have to do that? Well, again, we'll talk about that later. But then also, the right, in response to that, goes mask off. They go as mask off as
Oh yeah, I remember when like Ben Shapiro said that like he wasn't in favor of gay marriage. Now like yeah, I completely disagree with that. Like by the way, if you're curious, yeah, my first analysis, like at first I was like a kid, maybe like 9. That's actually pretty funny. Like my first take on gay marriage was like, why the fuck does anyone care? Because like, yeah, I actually come from France. Like in France, I guess that's probably more of a thing than in the United States. Like the culture is pretty different. Like in France, like a good bit of my family, I know so many people like they've been together for like 10, 20 years and they just never got married because like who really cares? Like yeah, I was sort of thinking, like, marriage, isn't that sort of like a religious practice? Like, I don't know, fucking, like, you get married at a church, right? Like, you get, like, marriage is sort of like a religious ritual, right? Like, it's sort of a, what, not a ritual, like a, whatever it's called, like a religious practice, right? So I was thinking, like, dude, why would gay people wanna fucking associate with a religion that fucking hates them, right? Nah, I'm just kidding. I know that most fucking Christians don't don't actually fucking like believe in that type of stuff. And there's also the stuff like people will usually say, oh, but that was like the ancient commandment or what, that was the first, that was the Old Testament. Like I don't really go into that type of like debates and stuff. I've actually only debated one person. I don't tend to have conversations with anyone like on any type of matter, but like yeah, my thing would be like the Old Testament, as far as I understand. I never read the Bible, but like yeah, the Old Testament, it didn't wasn't the whole idea like, oh, we're gonna throw the Old Testament and that's like with higher standards of like asking humans to be really good people, but like then God sort of found out, oh shit, I'm not as I'm not as omniscient as I fucking thought. I don't know everything. I was wrong. Humans aren't actually as great as I thought they would be. Either that or he knew and he was trying to, like, fucking, like, send humanity a fucking message that they weren't that great and they should fucking, like, drop their ego or whatever. But yeah, basically the whole message thing with the First Testament and it being dropped. Like, yeah, people tend to argue, well, all that really bigoted stuff, that was in the First Testament. But then, like, Jesus came with the New Testament or whatever, and, like, it didn't have all that stuff. So, like, all that stuff, like, Jesus didn't support it. Like, as far as I understand it, like, how religion goes with that, like, the justification that was given for dropping the Old Testament was that the standards were too high and people were just not that great. And, like, this was pretty much a lesson to give to, like, humans to make them learn, oh, you aren't that great. Put yourself in your place. Yeah, we can't hold you to these standards of being such great people, so y'all are flawed. So that sort of implies that being gay is a flaw, and that, okay, Jesus is accepting of, like, that type of stuff. He's not gonna kill you for it. He doesn't have that high of standards for you. He's okay with you being gay, but doesn't that sort of imply that he inherently believes, well, it's still wrong. It's just, like, whatever, we'll let it slide. It's not that bad. Like, that's sort of the vibe that I get from that. But,
It's humanly
yeah.
possible. So we'll talk about that. Anyway, all right, without further ado, let's jump into it. So last night at Mar-a-Lago, Donald
The
Trump
next president.
launched his next run for
We don't
president.
know that. Didn't they say that? That'd be funny if they said that. Actually, the midterms just ended. Yeah, like, now that the midterms have, I'm pretty sure they ended. Yeah, that seems pretty ironic
President of the United States,
that you'd make that prediction.
2024. I got a bunch of videos here for you. We're not going to go through all these because some of them honestly are just boring. But we'll go through a few and we'll get the gist of what went on. So when I was watching when I was watching the speech,
Audible was a trending topic. What the fuck is? Okay, yeah, let's cancel some retard. Okay. Oh no, that I don't know why I'm thinking so fucking toxically. Like, that politics must have done that. Oh, must have been someone who died. Fuck. Well, rip them then. My bad.
this is the first thing that stuck out to me, and this is clipped out here. Take a look.
2 years ago, when I left office, the United States stood ready for its golden age. Our nation was at the pinnacle of power, prosperity, and prestige, towering above all rivals,
Yeah, so I guess you
vanquishing
had,
all enemies,
the
and striding
majority
into the
and-
future, confident and so strong. In 4 short years, everybody was doing great. Men, women, African Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, everybody was thriving like never
hell
before.
yeah, dude. Oh, hell yeah, dude. I was, like, my peak Adderall views. Some great fucking times, dude. Tell you that.
So one of the arguments is like, look, when I was president,
Nah, actually, that wasn't. I'm just fucking with y'all.
everything was wonderful. Everything was incredible. Everybody had a Maserati in their front lawn, in their driveway. Everybody had
Yeah, global warming wasn't as bad as it is now.
a bunch of supermodels who wanted to date them. It was really wonderful. Everything was great. I don't even know how anybody could dislike anything that happened. And look, in all seriousness, this is why I think he's a less formidable candidate this time around.
Yeah, that's
is because
just
in
fucking
2016
funny.
he was an outsider, and he got to say, "Look, you guys have had your chance at running the system. You fucked it up. Let me,
Yeah, now
an
he's
outsider,
sort
go
of
in there. I understand how the system works because I was buying these politicians. They were super corrupt. I participated in that. I'll tell you I participated in that. But I want to go in there and fix it. But now we have 4 years of his record in office to see what the fuck he did with it, and it was a disaster.
Well,
So
people, yeah, like, half the people will disagree with that, and, like, yeah, he has a, like, cult fan base. Like, yeah, sure, I completely agree that, like, his fan base is a cult. Like, okay, yeah. I'll take that. Like, you can definitely support him and not be a cult member, but yeah, his following definitely does act like a cult.
It's hard to make the argument things were wonderful then. That's why you need to put me in, because they weren't wonderful, and that's why you lost in 2020. So it's just a very, very weak argument. And that's what he started with. I mean, he literally started with that argument in his launch speech.
Yeah.
By the way, it is kind of lazy, too, to just do it at Mar-a-Lago, right? Like, that's his resort. And it's like, this was minimal effort. He seemed like he was sort of beat down from the results of the midterms, and he's just like, yeah, I don't know, slap it together and I'll just do it. And it just seems like he rolled out of bed and was like, yeah, I'm running for president again, whatever. That's the vibe I got from it more.
Many people think that because of this, China played a very active role in the 2020 election. Just saying, just saying.
Okay.
Sure, that didn't happen.
So this is, now I'm sure all of his staffers and the people close to him told him, like, shut the fuck up about the 2020 election when you launch this speech.
Yeah,
people want to look
he's
forward, they want to
gonna
look
keep
backward.
going with
You
it.
saw what happened to all your candidates who were most obsessed with the 2020 election and were election conspiracy theorists. He couldn't help himself. So this line, I'm sure, was not in his speech. I'm sure it was not in the teleprompter. And he says, he's basically saying China interfered in 2020 to give the election to...
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, yeah, that whole thing is just fucking retarded. Like, yeah, election fraud. Now, yeah, a lot of left-wing people were like, oh yeah, this is him trying to, like, he's been thinking about this for a long time, like, fucking trying to take over. Like, no, I think, what the fuck was I talking about? I don't know. I'm fucking high. Anyway, like, yeah, this whole fucking thing, like, I didn't look into it. This, like, election fraud thing. Like, yeah, it's just a fucking gay anger tantrum that people throw. Like, thing is, like, he's not even fucking original, because, like, the right isn't even original, because they didn't even come up with that dog shit. Like, I didn't look into the election fraud shit. Like, I sort of immediately understood. Like, yeah, well, I remember when, like, when Trump was just, really fucking hated and, like, he was rising. Yeah, people really fucking hated Trump. And when he lost the presidential election and, like, he still won because, like, he didn't get the majority vote, so he lost the election. But, like, the stuff, like, yeah, when he got, like, he won the election, but he didn't get voted in. Like, yeah, you don't get voted in by a minority. So, yeah, like, people were obviously mad, and rightfully so. Like, yeah, the minority rule, like, I mean, the majority vote not being the determiner of an election win, that is the definition of a vote not being democratic. Like, the definition of democracy, most basic than anything, would be, like, the people directly elect their very leader. So, yeah, like, I can agree with that, but, yeah, like, since that's not how the system works, like, yeah, Democrats really didn't like Trump, and, yeah, they came up with the idea, oh, let's try election fraud, because, yeah, everyone was super fucking mad that Trump won, so, yeah, everyone was super fucking triggered about that, so they came up with it, oh, well, yeah, let's just fucking say he didn't win. Hashtag not my president. Hell fucking yeah, dude. And yeah, the right was just like, well, you know what? That shit seemed to work pretty fucking good. Yeah, let's just fucking do that ourselves. Cause yeah, so yeah, Trump isn't even fucking original. Like, he just stole that from the Democrats. So yeah, before it's Russia interfered with the 2016 election. Now it's China. So yeah, you're just stealing that from your opponent. Just get original talking points.
Joe Biden. So you know how Democrats, when Trump won, they did Russiagate against him and said the only reason.
Like, yeah, I didn't look into any of that. Now, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Russia might actually have, like, colluded in some way. But, like, yeah, when you do that, like, like, it's so fucking obvious that, like, you just stole the fucking talking points from Democrats. So just say, oh, well, that seemed to work pretty good for them. I'm just gonna fucking do that shit now. Like, okay,
You
dude.
got elected is because of Russia and Vladimir Putin handpicked you and you were his puppet and all that stuff. Well, we know that turned out to be bullshit. They massively overstated the case. It was just garbage. And now he's doing Chinagate to Joe Biden. Again,
Oh yeah, he's mentioning
it just
that, like, oh wow, that's actually I've never heard anyone mention the fact that, like, yeah, he's just ripping that off of Democrats, like that election night bullshit. Like, yeah, it's not even his original point. Like, he just ripped it
sad.
off.
It's just sad. It's just obviously untrue, but he doesn't care.
Yeah, like,
All right, more.
Fentanyl are flooding across the now open and totally porous.
Now, I actually watched, like, a video from Gutfeld, and, like, I actually, that changed my perspective. Now, I've always been, of course, I am pro-choice, so I am pro-legalization of all drugs. I think you should be able to put whatever drugs into your body. Bodily autonomy. If you want to kill yourself, your life doesn't belong to the government. Your life doesn't belong to anyone else. No one should be able to tell you what you do with yourself. If you want to ruin your life, if you want to fuck your life over, that's your problem. And, like, thing is, like, people, like, you get that fear mongering about drugs, bombarded on you since fucking kindergarten. Like, all the time at school, I remember you'd watch these, like, hysterically anti-drug things that would completely exaggerate the fuck out of drugs. Like, Leafy would often make fun of those, like, fucking, yeah, if you ever smoke weed, you'll go on a fucking school shooting spree and end up fucking dying. And it's like, yeah, that gross overstated, but everyone's aware of the risk of drugs, okay? Like, everyone sort of knows, like, if you take drugs, your life will fall apart. So, yeah, people who are taking hard drugs like that, their life has already fallen apart. And they're just trying to cope with it because it's a better option than killing themselves. They don't want to kill themselves. It's a hard decision. It's a permanent decision. It's a decision of all decisions. And yes, just better for coping. And who knows, these people, that gives them an alternate option to killing themselves. So, yeah, they might then actually have a second chance to actually end up recovering, like, changing their perspectives and faring better in society. But yeah, Trump is actually pro, like, yeah, he wants to genocide all drug dealers, all opioid drug dealers. Now, yeah, I was on to Gutfeld. Now, of course, I'm pro legalization of all drugs, and he's pro legalization of weed. I completely agree with that. Yeah, I think weed is fucking retarded. It rots your brain. Like, you shouldn't fucking take it. Like, when I'm high, I'm just fucking retarded. Like, I just smoke weed because like, I am fucking retarded. That's why I smoke weed. But, like, yeah, I actually always thought, like, yeah, if you want to sell fentanyl, if you want to buy fentanyl, like, you're not hurting anybody. You're not forcing anyone to take something that they didn't want to take. Uh, but yeah, like, I always thought about fentanyl stuff, like, oh yeah, like, it's someone ordering, like, I don't know, X amount of fentanyl, and they're getting it, and then they're overdosing. And yeah, if that's happening, like, yeah, I think that's perfectly fair, but yeah, I should have thought about that, like, that never crossed my mind, but, like, fentanyl isn't really being sold to people as fentanyl, like, it's sort of just cut into things, and yeah, people don't really know that it's in that. Now, like, also the thing with prosecuting people who sell things cut with fentanyl, they might not know it's cut with fentanyl because it might go down multiple chains, so I don't know what I think about that. Like, anything could be cut with fentanyl in the streets, like, who the fuck knows, but yeah, like, honestly, that gave me the perspective, like, yeah, fentanyl shouldn't really be seen as a drug. Like, it should be seen more as a poison. And obviously, I am pro-banning poisons. I'm pro-banning, like, that type of drug. Like, whatever drug is used, like, commonly in rapes and stuff. Yeah, if you want to ban that from being sold on the market, okay, yeah. But, like, drugs, like, um, yeah, there are plenty of things that you could buy from the grocery store and harm yourself with, such as bleach. And you could argue, well, that's not what bleach is intended for, so okay, let's move on to something else. Fast food. There are fast food restaurants that serve all over the place. Fast food is unhealthy. It's the reason why Americans are so fat, and that trend is only growing. As a conservative, you should definitely know that being fat isn't healthy and it will ruin people's lives. So, yeah, your argument for wanting to genocide drug dealers is that they're enabling people to harm themselves. So they're enabling people to have this bodily autonomy over themselves. They're giving people that liberty. Which yeah, that is a noble thing to do. You should absolutely be doing that. And yeah, most drug dealers you would find are actually very kind-hearted people. They aren't just cold people who don't care about you, don't care about your well-being. And no, most of them are kind people. But yeah, these fast food places, the argument is, well, you're enabling people to harm themselves. Well, guess what? Fast foods, that is their only use. It is being consumed, and its consumption only leads to bad health. Which, like, the same argument is made for drugs. So, are you in favor of genociding fast food workers? They deliver, like, essentially the same thing. So, yeah, do you not believe in bodily autonomy? Like, to that fucking extent, you wanna. Yeah, that's fucking retarded. Now, like, he's for doing that for all opioid deals. Now, if he said just fentanyl, um, I would say possibly okay, because, yeah, now that I think about it, like, yeah, it's actually being delivered as poison, because, like, yeah, it's a completely different story when people aren't making the conscious choice to buy it. Like, if someone decides, hey, I want to buy 2 grams of fentanyl, and the person says, okay, pulls up, gives them 2 grams of fentanyl, person takes it, that's way too much. I'd imagine that, as I heard, very low amounts can kill you. Person takes it, overdoses, dies. No one's at fault. Like, the person who bought the drugs is at fault. That was their choice to make. No one should blame them. I guess maybe people who relied on them could, but honestly, if they were going through so much suffering that they wanted to take out their own lives, like, who could blame them? But yeah, like, people know very well what will happen to them when they get into drugs. And by the way, if you're going to make the claim, oh yeah, like, I'm sure these people, they got into drugs, they had no idea that it was gonna destroy their lives. They had never heard it in school. They just didn't pay attention. Like, anywhere, at any time, when everybody was constantly fear-mongering about it. And, like, now they just have this problem, and you're just gonna, like, give them that shit. And oh yeah, because, like, if you just told them, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm not selling to you, yeah, they would just quit the addiction. They would just be like, oh fuck, I guess I'll just get over my fucking heroin use. No, they'll go find someone else. So yeah, you're not killing anybody, nor directly nor indirectly.
Southern border. The blood-soaked streets of our once great cities are cesspools of violent crimes, which are being watched all over the world as leadership of other countries explain that this is what America and democracy.
Like, yeah, I'm hearing that shit a lot. Like, I hear a lot about crime on Tucker Carlson. Yeah, it upsets me. Like, when I hear Tucker Carlson, like, talking about all that fucking crime and the fact that Democrats don't care about it, yeah, like, crime definitely is, like, I mean, I live in a sorta, like, average place. My place isn't that bad. I I've never seen any crime. To me, it's sort of a foreign thing. It's sort of like the Second Amendment for self-defense. It's like sort of irrelevant. Like, you're never gonna find yourself in a self-defense incident. Like, that is something that is rare enough for it to be fair to say, yeah, that's only gonna happen to other people. Like, that you can say. Like, what the fuck was I saying? Dude, what the fuck was I saying? Fuck. Mm, like, yeah, like this, the fucking Second Amendment. I was talking about that. But yeah, apparently, like in these big cities, like it's a lot different. And I remember, like when I was a kid, every time that I would like, cause like yeah, my mother loves to travel. We would travel a lot during the vacation. Like yeah, in these big cities, my mother would be like, don't go outside alone or stuff like that. Like it's dangerous. So yeah, like when Tucker Carlson tells me these big cities are seeing a huge spike in crime, like I don't live in these places, so I don't know. Now he tells us, if you don't believe me, go over there, see for yourself. And like yeah, if you, like thing is, Tucker Carlson said, I remember at some point hearing on his show that like some fucking cities, the cemeteries are having trouble like continuing to fucking just go by their days because their graves are like their cemeteries are just full. Like they're just getting overstocked with dead bodies from crimes. And like that is very weird. I'm very surprised that no Democrat had been talking about that. But like yeah, if cities like if what's it called? I'm so fucking high, dude. Like if cemeteries are having trouble like managing their fucking work because there are so many dead bodies from crime that are just piling on top of one another that they have no more room to bury them. Like, I don't know, that was some time ago. I don't know anything about that. I've seen like more recent things saying that like crime hasn't really risen all that much. Like, yeah, some people say it's fear mongering. I'm not really into that topic. I don't really care, but yeah, I wouldn't be
Is really
surprised.
all about how sad the United States has been embarrassed, humiliated, and weakened for all to see. Fentanyl.
So the argument is blood-soaked streets of our once great cities. In other words, crime is so out of control. It's so crazy. It's so insane. Under Joe Biden, everybody's getting murked.
Yeah, I could see this guy loves being fucking super over
They walk to the coffee shop.
I can already fucking
Again,
see
overstated
that.
much? We went through all the
shit.
crime statistics in detail. Now, you can make the
What
argument,
the
hey, the statistics
fuck?
don't account for everything because a lot of crimes go unreported. I think that's a fair
I've actually never heard
point.
that argument.
But in terms of the actual numbers,
But
there's been like a
yes,
slight uptick
okay,
in crime.
sure.
So again, it's just everything is so hyperbolic. When my opponent is in power, everything's bad, everything's wrong.
But thing is, like, yeah, that is like, okay, there's more crime when I'm not in power. Like, yeah, that like sure, okay, so what? Like, what do you want to know? Like, what do you want to tell me? But thing is, like, people like Tucker Carlson, they're not just saying, oh, when we're in power, look, there's less crime. Like, they're actually going, like, digging into why that's happening, breaking it down, and telling you the specific policies that need to change. Like, Tucker Carlson, every time he mentions crime, like, he goes straight to the specifics. Like, he goes to the point. Look at so and so and so and so and so. Look at all these people who have committed. Look, back in that year, they actually got arrested for sexual assault, and then they did it again, and yeah, they were convicted of over 10 fucking, like, just petty theft or some other dumb shit, and like, well, guess what? Yeah, after doing all that, they were out on the streets, like, a lot of the time after committing like serious crimes within like months or a year or two. Like, yeah, they were let out on the street, and guess what they did? They fucking murdered someone. Like, yeah, Tucker never, what's it called? Yeah, he never addresses crime, within the context of, well, look, when our party is here, is like, no, he always goes, straight to the point. The reason why there's more crime here is because look at these people. They shouldn't be out in the open. If we didn't let this happen, these crimes could have been prevented. Now, like, it's very possible that he's just handpicking that. Now, I don't watch anyone else. I don't watch Trump. I don't, like, I would imagine the average person, when they make the crime talking point, like, they go into that. Like, the average person isn't just saying, "Oh, crime," and just fucking saying crime, just assuming, yeah, when Republicans are there, they, like, their authority just fucking scare away criminals, cause like their vibe, they, like, no, I think the average person just thinks Republicans have more of that philosophy of being tough on criminals. Like, yeah, Republicans are more tough on criminals than Democrats, and to be fair, like, you see that those policies work. Like, yeah, at the dollar store, like, when people were caught stealing from there, they just get kicked out. In bigger stores, like, they often get arrested. Well, guess what? There's more theft in the dollar store. Like, yeah, that's a thing. So, like, I don't know. That could very well be handpicked examples. I mean, you saw with the Black Lives Matter movement when they handpicked George Floyd. Oh, well, look what happened to George Floyd. And yeah, when you handpick, when you look at, like, any fucking violent act that is committed by the police, and you just handpick any video you could find where the racial implications are favorable for pushing your agenda, like, yeah, you're gonna get some fear-mongering potential. Like, yeah, you're gonna have some fucking content, and yeah, so I don't know. There's a lot of deception in politics.
Everything's terrible. When I'm in power,
I
everything's
don't fucking
glorious.
know about
And
crime.
you know, we're entering the next great American generation or whatever the fuck.
But yeah, like, Donald Trump is probably not gonna convict more
hollow,
criminals.
so hollow.
Yeah, to be fair. Oh, fucking yeah, dude.
The Green New Deal and the environment, which they say may affect us in 300 years.
In 300 years, who's that? Who the hell is saying, in 300 years, this global catastrophe? No, like, the right is actually constantly making fun of people on the left for, like, so apparently, like, what's her name, Sandy Cortez or some, yeah, Sandy Cortez, like, she was expressing concerns that she didn't want to have a child, like, she wasn't sure if she wanted to have a child because she was concerned about, like, the effects that global warming would have on their lives eventually. Like, yeah, people are concerned about the next generation. when it comes to global warming. Like, no one is saying that global warming is gonna only hit us in 300 years. Like, no one's saying that it's only gonna start, like, being a danger in 300 years.
Is all that is talked about, and yet
The Green New Deal is all that is talked about.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, it should be
That's
talked
what he
about
just said.
more.
Not only is it not all that is talked about, it's barely even talked about.
Like, to be fair, yeah, global warming should absolutely be talked about more. Like, I completely get, like, it is not something that, like, is relevant to people's everyday lives. It won't be relevant to anyone's everyday lives, until, like, yeah, until in the far future for what everyone is concerned with the politics world. Like, yeah, politics, is pretty fucking fast-paced. Someone says some dumb shit one day, that's what the hype is about. Oh, so someone, I don't know, got caught fucking a prostitute, and they have a political name. Wow, fuck yeah, dude, so...
By the way, he acts like it's already the law. There is no green...
Yeah, like, thing is, with global warming, yeah, like, this could be our planet getting fucked. Like, this will be, if we don't, like, so, yeah, it should, be getting the most attention. It is, fair to say that's the biggest issue. So, yeah, if someone runs on the premise that that is the, like, biggest issue that they'll be addressing, yeah, I honestly think that's a good message. That's, like, a very fucking important
New Deal
point.
that
Yeah,
became
so, yeah, people should be talking more about it,
law.
actually. I'm very disappointed that Tucker Carlson is, like, spewing the fucking, like, anti-global warming bullshit. Like, yeah, that stuff is, like, yeah, I think he's just getting fucking misinformed. I don't know why he's doing
That's
that
not a
shit.
thing. That didn't...
Like, yeah, it's just, there should not be, like, it's just so fucking stupid what people can be fed. If it's the status quo of your political party, like, a lot of people will just fucking run with it. Like, how do you think that, like, half the fucking people, like, half the people's, party that represents them, pretty much, like, that party's consensus can be, like, pretty much flat earth, just science denialist. Like, yeah, the science is out there. The science has been done on global warming. Like, it is fucking calculated. We know how global warming works. Like, we're seeing the effects. So, yeah, like, half the countries, like, official position shouldn't be, like, pretty much flat earth nonsense.
didn't
And
happen.
and the other half of the country's position shouldn't be that core blindness is racist. Like, yeah, this is what having a bipartisan fucking country instead of a country where everyone just builds their own political party, builds their own ideas based on their own life experiences and what life teaches them and how they critically think about their own ideas. So
Happen. It's amazing. And then he's going to make up numbers about, they say climate change is going to raise the ocean waters a millimeter by the year 2400. Like, he's just, it's all garbage. It's all garbage.
nuclear
wait, who would even care about that? What would anyone even bring up
weapons,
that?
which would destroy the world immediately, are never even discussed as a major threat. Can you imagine? They say the ocean will rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 200 to 300 years. But don't worry about nuclear weapons that can take out entire countries with one shot. Something is wrong.
Okay, first of all,
well, global warming could take out the Earth in one shot. So
the nuclear weapons point, I want a steady hand of leadership during a massive crisis like Russia.
Dude, I actually really want Trump in a nuclear crisis leader. I want to see what Trump does. Like, let's make it be the fight between what fucking destroys Earth first. Like, is it gonna be global warming, or is it gonna be clowns like being fucking pog champs on stage? Then, like, let's fucking go.
Invading Ukraine.
Trump 2024.
And I want somebody who's rational, logical, goes tit for tat, doesn't escalate. And with Trump, I'd be terrified of escalation.
Yeah, I don't fucking get how people are making the position that like, yeah, Ukraine, we shouldn't be helping them, or like they're wrong. Yeah, like Ukraine got attacked. People will often fucking make it that point. And I see why they're making that point. Like, people will use the Ukraine thing to like talk about our borders. Oh well, Democrats are hypocrites. They'll say that Ukraine's borders are sacred, but then like our borders aren't sacred. They care about Ukraine more than they care about their own country. And the answer I'd have to that, by the way, is our country isn't being attacked. Mexico's drug war, it's not happening over here. They aren't at war with us. Okay, like, yeah, and either way, the people who'd say would be getting killed, well, they'd be committing suicide, I'd argue. But like, yeah, these people who are getting killed off by society, like, what? These people were getting killed off, well, by their own choices, but you'd say by the Mexican cartels. Guess what? The majority of them are going to be, like, really, like, low down in life, and Republicans tend to be like, yeah, we want less homelessness, we don't want all these homeless people all over the place, and to be fair, I'll give them a point. Like, yeah, I saw the Humanist Report completely just well Tucker Carlson on that, just completely go off on him as like he's just demonizing the homeless. I think there was a genuine human appeal to that, saying like, oh yeah, we go outside, all these people are homeless. Well, that means you're going outside and you're seeing like the world in front of you. Like, a lot of these people are homeless. Well, what does that mean? That means that, like, yeah, in America, a lot of people are well, they've pretty much failed at life. They're not going to get a chance now to be better. And yeah, we don't want to see that here. We want to see these people flourish here. Since we can change that here, yeah, we want to see less homelessness. We want to see people thrive. And yeah, when people see that in front of them, they'll be like, no, that's not what we want. We don't want to see like homelessness start to like homelessness is misery. Imagine being that person who like is 30 years old now and has to look back on 10 years ago when they were just a stupid teenager who was just so dumb. Now that they think about it, didn't think about the future, didn't care about school, didn't do their work, just let themselves go, and then thought, oh yeah, I don't care right now, this is later, and they had 10 years to change, and think back, oh, if only I had known, I would have gone to school, I would have made sure to like get good grades, and now I wouldn't be here. Like, seeing these people who like are 30 or some have lived for 10 years maybe like that, and have to know that they're going to live like another fucking 10, 20, 30 years. Just like, yeah, when we start seeing that more, like, yeah, that says problem. Like, that is a misery growing. So yeah, now I can agree with some points, like maybe we shouldn't give them if the American people don't wanna give these people drugs, that's
I
perfectly
absolutely
fine.
would be.
But
Because this
yeah, if the American people doesn't want to fund the drug pumps with
is a
their
guy who
tax
felt
money,
pressure because the media was
I'm going
saying,
on
oh,
a
you sold out
tangent.
to
What
Russia,
the
you sold out
fuck?
to Russia.
Yeah, I really have to try working on that. I go on tangents a lot. I'm sort of fucking autistic, sort of ADHD. I just do that shit. I'm trying to control
You sold out to
myself. I'll
Russia.
hopefully get better
So he
with
felt
it.
pressure to sort of prove, like, I'm not sold out to Russia. I don't even know what you're talking about. And that's why under him, it was a very hawkish line on Russia in terms of our official policy. With the, NATO buildup on the border, with rejecting the oil pipeline that had previously been approved, involving the U.S. and Russia, arming Ukraine. This is all stuff that he did.
I don't know anything.
That,
I don't know
is a
anything
policy
about
was
any
to
of
the
that.
right of Obama. So it's like he felt the pressure to be tough on Russia because the media was saying, you're a bitch to Russia. And imagine him being in charge during the Russian invasion of Ukraine. God, he's the opposite of a steady hand of leadership.
To be fair, I remember him saying, I think it was in a Fox interview, he was saying, it feels like I don't know Putin anymore. Like, when I saw him back then, it feels like he's a different person now. And, I'm very disappointed in him. Now, I don't know if he means this genuinely, but, I mean, you gotta take people at their word. Like, if you don't have an actual argument to suppose that, he's lying, if he says that, it's not like he's completely being silent about it, so, he's not routing for Russia. As far as I've seen, I haven't really, I don't look at this guy a lot, I just hear about him, but...
As soon as Putin made those nuclear threats, he'd be making them right back. And it's like, I don't really...
I don't think Putin would make nuclear threats against him, especially since they're on good terms. But, yeah.
I want that. I don't want that. That's way too far for me. All right, more.
Imagine Trump
Much criticism is being placed.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be dumb enough to do that either. Against North Korea, that's a different thing. It's just, two clowns basically just Trump just fucking trolling him. That was
on the fact that
funny.
the Republican Party should have done better. And
it's Trump's just trolling North Korea on Twitter saying, I'm a fucking nuke you, bitch. It's what do you think? North Korea is just gonna get triggered and have a mental breakdown and just, that whole thing's fucking funny. Oh, he's not being very diplomatic. Hell fucking yeah, dude. That's hilarious. If he wants to go shout out my boy Dolan, I think if he had shouted out PewDiePie and made him win against T-Series, that wouldn't have been very diplomatic. He might have won in 2020 if he had done that. Dolan Dog's fan base might actually have come back and supported him. They might actually have had PewDiePie, backing him up, because Dolan Dog's actually PewDiePie.
Frankly, much of this blame is correct. But the citizens of our country have not yet realized the full extent and gravity of the pain our nation is going through, and the total effect of the suffering is just starting to take hold. They don't quite feel it yet, but they will very soon. I have no doubt that by 2024...
They will feel... Is he talking about the pain of having Democrats in power? The pain of, Biden ruling the country? Because, it's 2022, buddy. It's been 2 years. What do you mean they don't feel it yet? You don't feel that burn of fucking Democrats filthing our country or whatever the fuck. When are we gonna start, dude? I mean, not we. I'm not a Democrat. I will say I'm Republican because it's a two-party system. I'm more Republican than Democrat. Obviously, I'm pro-free speech. I'm against racism and and I don't believe in theft. I think that you should have the right yeah, do whatever you want with your business. I think you should have the right to fire anyone or kick anyone out of your business or property for any reason. Even if it's a stupid reason, even if it's because God told me to, because you're a faggot. Yeah, if someone is a business owner and they somehow manage to be a business owner with a mental fucking disability, um, yeah, like they still own that business and you don't. They tell you to get off their property, yeah, not like yeah, I'm done. So yeah, that's really like the main points in which I'm open. Now everything else, yeah, I don't believe in religion. I see the appeal to it, but yeah, it does bring on a lot of bigotries, and it's just an anti-critical thinking like ideology anyway. But yeah, like all the other shit that's being spouted from the right, like global warming isn't real, fucking flat Earth shit, fucking what yeah, don't wear mask, COVID vaccines, no to vaccines, what else, yeah, I'm pro-choice, I'm pro drugs, I'm pro immigration, like yeah, I'm pro banning firearms, but yeah, I'm still pro free speech and against racism more than anything, and I'm against theft, so I can't really like yeah, I'm against taxes, so I can't really be I can't really associate with the left for those
It will
reasons.
sadly
Like
be.
I think I think racism and not supporting free speech is worse than being a fucking flat earth retard. Mm, e- Even if like you add transphobia to that, like transphobia is very bad. Like yeah, this is like yeah, it is really rampant. But yeah, like I just think of course the Democratic Party tends to be more right on a lot of shit. The majority of the like bullshit comes from the Republican Party, the majority of conspiracy theories and stuff, but like yeah, I definitely get the appeal to being on the right. Like yeah, people will say a lot like yeah, Republicans are actually the snowflakes. They are nosy. They are for they don't want to have you get to choose whether your kids get to transition. They don't want to what else? Yeah, they don't want you to make the choice of whether or not you carrying your child to term. Like they're pretty fucking nosy. Like the thing is, like I think where this whole Democrats or snowflakes thing comes from. Like, dude, this is sort of unarguable. Like, I'm from France, so like the culture over there around that type of shit. Like I hear that in Louisiana. Like yeah, a lot of I've never seen anyone be bigoted in Louisiana. But like okay, maybe anti-trans, sure, but like what the fuck was I going on about? Fucking hell. Yeah, like dude, I was talking about trans some. Yeah, like fuck. Well, whatever. Being transphobic and like that is pretty bad. But I understand the appeal to. I understand the appeal to transphobia. It's sort of like yeah, they like people are just uncomfortable with it because it's a massive change. Like yeah, people tend to like be repulsed. Like that is pretty much like this is pretty much what's happened with like Democratic Party versus Republican Party. Uh, our instincts as humans make us inherently repulsed to differences. Like we are inherently repulsed when we see people with different so and so. That's our instincts. Now that instinct is bad, and finally, with our society having progressed to the level it has, like these backwards old beliefs that like used to work better, like yeah, we sort of developed that thought process, like that yeah, we sort of developed these instincts and like that whole way that our brain works, because back in the day, like that shit was better for us to think, like for us to develop a religion and for us to think, oh well, this is our excuse, like everything will turn out well and life will be better in the afterworld. That's why pretty much everything has a religion. But what the fuck was I talking about again? uh like fuck, dude. Yeah, like when people see others, especially differences when it comes to like ideas, people tend to be very repulsed by people who come with different viewpoints, different angles, and like yeah, the world is just changing towards like yeah, the world is just evolving past that, like these primitive times. Our society is evolving at a much faster rate now. Like within the last 100 years, our society has evolved more than it had for the 1,000 years before then. So yes, science is becoming more rampant. Science provenly beats religion in every aspect, and every religion is incompatible, and the fact that every religion states that it is the only real religion. So yeah, but thing is, the Republican Party tends to be more towards like yeah, that human instinct of yeah, this was never a thing before, and yeah, that's really a thing with transphobia. People don't really understand intuitively. Like they can't wrap their head around like yeah, you could be born a boy but like feel like a girl, and like everyone intuitively understands. Like girls and boys, like they feel different. You feel like a boy if you're a boy. You like yeah, sex and race are not the same thing. You could very easily argue like yeah, a black person and a white person, there's no inherent difference between them other than just like what's it called, yeah, cosmetic differences. That's the only difference. But yeah, men and women, that's different. But yeah, people just like are not ready. Like society is just not fucking being able to get it through their mind yet that like yeah, that's a thing, and these people, they are better off transitioning. Like yeah, this is a mental disorder and we have a solution to it. And yeah, a thing is, when that happens, it's a very easy for people to like get defensive and well, obviously want to be right. They're repulsed by that. They don't want to think about it. It's just like too distant for them. They like yeah, a lot of people when they think about that, they're like, oh no, that's just way too distant from my worldview. I don't even want to think about that being the case. Like yeah, and I can understand how people who like immediately they like their first instinct, their first reaction is just like, what? No, that sounds insane. Like they're just completely not ready for that type of new thing. And yeah, when these people are met with the talking point, oh, actually, yeah, you don't have to worry. None of that's real. The world isn't as like your worldview isn't that fucking wrong. Um, yeah, people do actually work more like you think they would. Yeah, boys don't actually feel like girls. That's just society trying to convince children to transition. so that they can like have more power or some shit. Like, yeah, when Republicans who were just completely repulsed by the idea of like such a drastic change that they aren't ready for, like when they really don't want to have to think about that type of stuff, they want an excuse to reject it because they feel uncomfortable with it. Like, yeah, when they're met with that, like, oh, actually, did you know that? No, don't worry. That whole thing, like, yeah, it's just bullshit. Yeah, it's just a social construct. They're just trying to do that to give a talking point. Like, thing is, that is the perfect thing for someone who wants to for someone who feels uncomfortable with transgenderism. They will go straight to that. Like that's the like first thing you'd want to hear. Oh no, this is bullshit. But actually, you should be fierce against these people because they're actually hurting others. So yeah, when Republicans were already like uncomfortable with the idea of that, when they're all of a sudden met with this idea that they would be very open to, that actually this whole movement, it's actually a movement to hurt kids, and it's just yeah, it's harmful. I can get them immediately just being preconditioned to subscribe to that immediately. Like, yeah, just like with the third gender shit, when everyone was like starting to talk about third genders and stuff. Like, yeah, I understand gender is binary, and I never got that thing of a third gender, and like, yeah, my first idea when I thought about that was like, yeah, this makes no sense. Gender is binary. That doesn't make fucking sense. Like, fucking 20 genders, all that shit. Yeah, like my immediate take on that was these people are probably like closeted transphobes, pretty much trying to troll the trans movement by trying to smear it and making it look ridiculous, and like just and like the left is just embracing them, and they're actually just trying to smear the transgender movement because they have nothing better to do with their life. And thing is that was my first reaction. I was like, when because yeah, I was completely uncomfortable with the idea of a third gender. Like it's completely counterintuitive to me. I still don't understand the idea of that. But yeah, at first my reaction, since I was uncomfortable, I think maybe that might have been why my instinct went to like saying, yeah, they're actually trying to harm like the trans movement. But thing is, why would anyone, especially like if I heard about it, it must have been mainstream enough to be spread around, and this can't have been just one person. So you have multiple people coming out as like non-binary, unless that's a social construct. Like if multiple people come out as like these like hundreds of other genders, it's like, yeah, there must be something to it. They can't all be just fucking trolling libtards and just trying to damage the transgender movement by associating with it. Which like I always had the position, yeah, that's toxic. If you want to attack the transgender movement, you shouldn't do it that way. So like, yeah, humans do tend to be predisposed in a way to going and attacking people,
much
but
worse.
I don't know why I went on this tangent. Like, anyway, let me go get some water and shit. Wait, I'll be right back. Like, in a little while. Fuck it out. Wait. I'm still streaming, by the way. Wait, let me actually just mute that real quick. How do I mute? I'm just gonna fucking Alright, holy shit, I'm back. Had to talk to my mother for a bit. Alright, yeah, so where were we at?
Citizens of our country have not yet realized the full extent and gravity of the pain our nation is going through, and the total effect of the suffering is just.
I guess, like, he could sort of have an argument by saying, like, yeah, like, this thing, it's mostly in, like, big cities. Like, yeah, I completely get that appeal. Like, it seems from what, people like Tucker Carlson are saying, that's, like, really the only guy I watch. Like, I watch Tucker Carlson, sometimes I'll watch Gutfeld, and, like, to bounce that, I'll watch The Humanist Report, and, yeah, like, from there, I sort of found some other people, like, The Rational National, Secular Talk, and had the, like, misfortune of bumping into Sam Setter. It's not really a misfortune, because now I'm gonna get the clown on him for just, like, yeah, trying to smear everyone, like, anyone he politically disagrees with. Like, yeah, anyone he strongly politically disagrees with, I don't think would try to smear Mitt Romney or someone like that as a racist, but,
Starting to.
yeah, back to what the fuck I was talking about. Yeah, I think it's completely reasonable to say, like, about that like, type of crime type shit, according to people like Tucker Carlson, like, yeah, it's mostly happening in big cities, and I can see that, yeah, they got, okay, maybe it's fair, like, people in the suburbs, but then the majority of people live in these big cities, and, like, the Electoral College also sort of compromises for that by making it so that, like, these people, like, these states with more people, like, the places that will have more of these big cities that are more populated, like, there will be more, like, senators or people, like, in the Electoral College. There'll be more people representing them, so I
Take
don't,
hold. They
uh,
don't.
and he's saying they don't see it yet. Oh yeah, if you're talking about the people who live in the suburbs, like, they'd be the only people who wouldn't have seen it yet. Like, are you saying that crime is gonna spread over to the suburbs if Democrats, like,
Quite feel it
yeah,
yet, but they will
sounds
very
like
soon.
some cancer.
I have no doubt that by 2024,
What?
it will
What?
sadly be much
What
worse.
will?
And
Oh, okay. So he's not gonna make any prediction as to, oh yeah, like, yeah, based on what's happening, like, yeah, if they continue on this path, this will happen, and then, like, he actually makes a sound prediction, and it comes out to be true, and then maybe this guy, no, it's just like, oh yeah, things will get much worse,
they
okay,
will
buddy,
see much more clearly what happened and what is happening
we'll
to
see
our
much more
country,
clearly.
and the voting will be much
Buddy,
different.
the voting will be much different.
2024.
Hell yeah.
So in other words, look, yeah, I know we underperformed. Republicans underperformed in the midterms, but
Oh yeah. Okay, let me. Okay. Yeah, to be fair, I don't think Trump's gonna win in 2024, sadly. Like, yeah, it really seems to be that way, especially, like, during the time I was, like, constantly watching Tucker Carlson. Like, yeah, I guess that stuff got sort of boring. He sort of has the same rhetoric, like, all the time, just fuck the left, like, yeah, he sort of does the same type of shit that Sam Setter says, just giving people the least into the least charitable fucking, like, just assuming the worst of, like, people who oppose him politically, but
that's because, bro, the people didn't even.
yeah, like, since he attacked DeSantis, and, like, yeah, also since, like, in the midterms, yeah, he got fucking blasted. Yeah, I don't think he has much chance. Like, especially since things will only deteriorate more and more as, like, time continues. DeSantis is gonna gain popularity. Like, yeah, I think it'll probably be DeSantis. And, like, honestly, like, I just saw from the Humanist Report, like, posts saying, actually, I think we'll get to that. Apparently, yeah, like, DeSantis seems to be more electable
Fuck, they
than
didn't even
Trump
know. They didn't
against Joe Biden.
understand. They didn't. I mean, it hasn't
Yeah,
landed
that is
yet how
pretty
bad
silly.
Biden
Yeah.
has been. That's the problem. It
Yeah,
hasn't
they didn't realize he's a fucking communist nigger
landed yet how bad Democrats have been.
Right.
It's not that, my hand-picked candidates are literally insane and have terrible policy agendas and clearly don't represent the American people. That's not why. It's not because I can't shut the fuck up about the last election and I keep talking about put me back in, coach, overturn it. That's not why. It's not because we're extreme and we're anti-abortion and not only were we cool with Roe versus Wade being overturned, we like that, then we proposed a national abortion ban.
I mean, to be fair, it should never have been a surprise that they'd be for that. And, like, that is one thing that I, like, definitely find very sad about this whole thing. Like, although I am pro-choice, like, before that whole Roe versus Wade thing, like, it was an open discussion. And, like, of course, yeah, I also live in Louisiana, and after I left high school, like, I stopped really interacting with people as much. And, like, yeah, this semester I, like, dropped out of college to try getting my fucking life back straight, and, yeah, I haven't interacted with anybody, so I don't really know much on politics, right now, but, like, yeah, like, Republicans have always been pro-life, and, like, yeah, thing is, you can't really blame them or demonize them for this. Like, as much as it does hurt people, it does actually have, like, harmful, consequences. The overturning of Roe v. Wade, and, like, yeah, people should have their bodily autonomy. Like, stupid teenagers, now in masses, like, continuing to be fucking brain dead and participating in the activity that that just participating in the fucking activity through which babies are born, when that is the specific thing they want to avoid. Like, yeah, these stupid people ending up with a life they would never have chosen, where they have to take care of someone else, where when they clearly when they clearly struggle taking care of themselves. Like, I mean, they can't even take care of themselves enough to not get themselves in a situation with a baby when they didn't want one. Like, unless they got raped. So, yeah, like, the thing is with that whole conversation, like, I am pro-choice, but I understand the pro-life position. Like, that is really like a tough question. It's really a sensible topic. It's really a sensitive topic because on one side, like, yeah, you have people who are pro bodily autonomy and who obviously don't want to see more situations where, like, parents who don't want to have a child, aren't ready to have a child, aren't gonna give that child a good life, are not gonna have as good of a life themselves anymore because of that child, are probably gonna put some blame on that child, even if they, like, obviously they, like, most people are too moral to actually directly put the blame on their child, but, like, you could imagine a lot of these people are just gonna, like, indirectly, subconsciously take out their fucking pain and frustration on their child, thinking, like, this is what happened to me. Like, if this hadn't happened, I would be better off. Like, people who didn't want to carry out that child, like, yeah, do you think they'll be the best parent for that child? Like, if they clearly didn't want to have a kid, and do you think that kid's life will be better? Like, clearly that is, like, a big thing, but on the other side, people genuinely believe that it's a murder. Like, people think to themselves, well, wow, like, if this was legal, imagine if my mother had aborted me, like, I, I could be, like, my life could not be here right now, and the thing is, like, you have to, like, you're not seeing it from the right angle. Like, your parents could have also never had sex, and it would have been the same. You would, for all intents and purposes, never have existed. You don't remember, you don't have any memories from anywhere near back when, like, you were still at a stage where abortion would be legal on you. Yeah, it would have pretty much been like you had never existed. It wouldn't be like you would have been killed. And yeah, I disagree with the idea that, like, anything, like, really meaningful starts at conception. I think this potential started, like, far back, but yeah, like, people actually believe that this is murder, and it intuitively, I cannot intuitively understand that, and it just sucks that, like, this made that whole debate way more toxic. Like, I remember before this whole thing, like, back when I was in high school, like, at least in Louisiana, the general consensus with that was sort of, like, yeah, I know people who would be like, yeah, we disagree. I'm pro-choice, this person's pro-life, or the other way around, and I'm never gonna agree with them, and they're never gonna agree with me, and, like, we're just fine with that. We just coexist. Like, yeah, we just agree to disagree, and we're not gonna be toxic about it. Like, yeah, before there was more of this culture of, yeah, we can agree to disagree, and yeah, we could just, like, disagree with this, but be accepting of other people with that position, because it genuinely makes sense as an empathetic position. Like, being pro life, like, that isn't selfish. That isn't, like, no, it's compassionate. I just think, like, you I just think it's a bad, like, yeah, it's a bad, philosophy to arrive to. It's a bad conclusion to arrive to. Like, that because we are empathetic, we should be empathetic towards people who are not aware of our compassion, just because in the future, thing is, in the future is at a different time. Like, that didn't happen yet. Like, that potential, like, 30 years before you were conceded, you had the potential 30 years in the future to end up becoming everything you might one day become. And if you're born, it did
And after that,
happen.
that's not
So
why.
yeah, I don't think we should be toxic towards pro-life. Cause, like, honestly, after Roe vs. Wade, like, I remember I work at Taco Bell to try to, like, pay for my college and shit. But, like, yeah, I remember, like, that week when Roe vs. Wade was overturned. Like, yeah, everybody at my Taco Bell apparently had been protesting, and, like, yeah, I remember, like, like, people were talking about that, and, like, yeah, people asked me, by the way, you aren't pro-life, are you, right? Like, yeah, I'm pro-choice, obviously, but, yeah, like, it seems that more people now have a hostile fucking reaction to pro-lifers, and, like, yeah, I don't think we should be hostile towards the pro-life position. I can definitely understand, I can definitely empathize with, like, having this outraged response, because yeah, people are being, yeah, people are, suffering over this, and people's rights are definitely being, like, yeah, people's rights are definitely being obstructed here. Now, I don't really get why it matters unless you're being raped. like, yeah, you could just not fuck, or you could wear a condom or get a vasectomy. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure with a vasectomy you could freeze your sperm, so then you don't have to worry about getting pregnant. Like, Vegan Games made a video about that. Seems pretty fair. Yeah, like, that is my position on Roe v. Wade. I don't get why people care so much, but, like, yeah, then people are stupid. Uh, like, I have a hard time, like, having it get through my head. I have a hard time buying that the average person is so dumb that they still don't understand how babies are made, and they still don't get the idea that, oh no, now that Roe versus Wade is overturned, no, I'm not gonna magically wake up with a baby tomorrow and be like, how did that get there? And now, oh, well, I can't get rid of it. Like, no, that's not really how it works. But yeah, like, nevertheless, it is still your body, and that baby doesn't have any value. So basically, if I'm gonna like say all that, I should probably say a criteria for what I consider to. But honestly, I'm really going off topic. Yeah, let's not like talk about criteria for what I consider to make life important. Let's just continue watching the video because
It's just
I'm only
massive,
10 minutes in. I'm really going on tangents here. I don't know why I'm
massive
doing that.
cope.
Like, yeah, my Tourette's is off the fucking. Like, yeah, I just keep twitching my head and shit. I don't know why I'm doing that. Probably because I drank a lot of fucking Monster Energy drinks, to be
This line
honest.
I loved. Crystal tweeted about this too when it happened live. This is hilarious, and you guys will know why immediately. But take a look.
In the popular vote, another thing that's not
Oh my fucking god, that popular
discussed for the
vote.
House, we must remember that Republicans won 5 million more votes, the largest margin in many, many years, over the Democrats. 5 million more votes. That's a big thing. In the
Okay, so first of all, the way it
I
works.
mean, that is a point. Yeah, the popular vote, like, sure, that is,
For the
funny
House
him
is
talking about
whoever
the popular point, but, like, hypocrisy is not an argument. Like, like, hypocrisy isn't a fucking defense argument. Uh, because someone's hypocritical, that doesn't mean that they're calling that out is wrong. It's not because someone did something bad that, like, since they're the ones calling out someone else over it, like, that thing isn't
gets the
bad.
most votes
So,
in the individual.
but yeah, like, I definitely agree. The popular vote should be the only thing that matters in a democratic fucking society. Like, that is that is how the democratic fucking system elects like, yeah, that is democratic fucking that is how democracy works. The people elect their leaders.
Individual
So
districts.
yeah, I do agree. The presidential election process in America is definitely not democratic. Now, people fucking say a lot, like the Humanist Report, they'll like go on that, like, fucking just, yeah, they'll just go on that virtue signaling thing of America isn't really a democracy. They look at this and that, and like, okay, sure, governments can definitely have very like very non-democratic aspects to their system and still be democracies. Like, yeah, the electoral system of the United States is by definition not democratic. A democratic system would be by definition the people vote for their leaders. The people choose their leaders in, and this isn't what's happening. The popular vote isn't directly responsible for who wins. So yeah, like it's not because like, yeah, there are some fascist leaning aspects to America that, oh, America isn't really a democracy. It's actually like, we've gone full-blown fascist. We don't even really live in a democracy. It's like, okay, buddy, but yeah.
They're the ones who win. Okay? The reason why Republicans probably got a lot more votes than Democrats overall is that there were a lot of uncontested races that were just, shoo-ins. But now, again, hilarious. This is the first and last and only time he will ever give a fuck about the popular vote.
Yeah,
Why?
I would imagine.
Because he lost the popular vote by what? 3 or 4 million to Hillary Clinton? 7 million to Joe Biden? So previously, Trump's got all these maps up in the White House when he was in there of like, that map, the electoral map that shows like the entire country is red and there's just like little pockets of blue. That's what he puts up there to try to make himself feel better about his elections.
Yeah, that's definitely
because
not the case.
It just shows where the districts Republicans did well in, but there are so fewer people there. Land doesn't vote. It's basically like a land map, not really like a people map. If you go by the actual numbers, of course, like I said, Joe Biden got 7 million more votes. Hillary Clinton got 3 or 4 million more votes. So this is the first time and last time he'll ever bring up the popular vote. But look, man, I'll keep it real with you.
I mean, yeah, definitely, like, that is very fair, but, yeah, like, again, just the fact that he won an election and what did I just do? Just the fact that he won an election and he didn't win the popular vote, like, that doesn't discredit anything that he might say criticizing the popular vote. Like, just because he's guilty of that doesn't make whoever is also guilty of that not wrong. And it didn't invalidate his argument just because he's the one making it.
5 million more votes, the largest margin in many, many years.
I would definitely agree. Like, if Republicans did win by a tangent, like, yeah, that is
over the Democrats. 5 million more votes. That's a big thing.
Okay, so first of all, the way it works for the House is whoever gets the most votes in the individual districts, they're the ones who win. Okay? The reason why Republicans probably got a lot more votes than Democrats overall is that there were a lot of uncontested races that were just,
I don't know, I pressed on a button.
Red and there's just like little pockets of blue. That's what he puts up there to try to doesn't vote. It's basically like a land map, not really like a people map. If you go by the actual numbers, of course, like I said, Joe Biden got 7 million more votes. Hillary Clinton got 3 or 4 million more votes. So this is the first time and last time he'll ever bring up the popular vote. But look, man, I'll keep it real with you. If you want to shake on it right now, that we move to a popular vote system, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, she didn't, like, put up that big fucking thing of, like, oh, I'll be the first woman president. Like, who the fuck cares? But, yeah, I mean, like she was pretty fucking, like, yeah, what's the word for that? Gay, I guess? Like, with all that shit, I'll be the first woman president. Like, good for fucking you, dude. Like, oh, I'll be the first fucking president who's got a fucking, vasectomy or some shit. Like, good for fucking you, dude. But yeah, the popular vote should win.
Absolutely, I would shake on that. Whoever gets the most votes should be the one who wins.
Yeah.
I know, crazy. We could do that in the Senate, get rid of the filibuster, so 51 votes wins instead of 60. Totally down for that. Presidential race, popular vote, absolutely.
Like, that is a pretty fair point against Trump, though. Like, yeah, if he's gonna say that, he should definitely have made it when he was president, so that, like, you cannot win, again, a presidential election unless you got the majority vote. So, yeah, if he's gonna talk about, I mean, yeah, like, him talking about that, like, he's not necessarily saying that, like, the majority vote should get the win, which I would agree with, but, like, yeah, he's just bringing up that point to say, hey, by the way, like, that is meaningful.
Absolutely, I would shake on that right this second, because that's a system that makes more sense to me.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's
he only brings it up in this specific context, because it's like the one time Republicans did win the popular vote, but ended up losing. All right, next. This was the actual moment that it happened.
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more, just from this app on my phone. And
hell fucking yeah, dude.
We have taken over Congress. Nancy Pelosi has been fired. Isn't that right?
Dude, I feel sort of bad for Nancy Pelosi. Like, I don't know anything about her. It's like, dude, she just got fucked over so hard. It's like, I remember the Capitol, they were trying to hang her, and like, not too long ago, like, yeah, her husband was attacked, and now she just lost her position. Like, that, I feel sort of bad for her. Like, that fucking sucks, but. Oh, Nancy Pelosi got fired. Well, I mean, didn't you sort of get fired too? Isn't that why you're no longer Mr. President? Like, yeah, Nancy Pelosi got voted out. I mean, that's what happened in 2020. Like, you also got fired. Like, what are you talking about? Like.
I told them, I said, if you just keep a little bit lower standard, you're going to have a big victory. They said, let's win by 40 seats. Let's win by 50. I said, if you win by 2 seats, be happy.
Okay, he definitely didn't say that. And also, there's a big difference between winning by 2 seats and winning by 40 seats or 60 seats. Now, the Republicans are going to win by anywhere from like 1 to 8 seats. And they're not going to be able to get much of anything done. Because it's hard to get that many people on the same page. There's going to be some Republicans who are from traditionally very blue districts, and they're going to not want to go along with the hard right shit that the majority of the Republicans are going to want to do. So how do you keep those people in line? How do you get anything done? You're always going to have, 5, 10 defectors for any given piece of legislation? So there's a huge difference. Again, this is massive cope. Everybody knows it's cope.
But she's on her way to another country right now. She's been fired.
Yeah, that is pretty fair. Like, with our current system, like, I get with checks and balances, like, you sort of need to compromise to have democracy. And I sort of get that, like, yeah, the government being very slow and inefficient is sort of like a side effect to having democracy. Like, yeah, you sort of gotta choose your, yeah, you just gotta choose what you go with, and yeah, that's just a good compromise. But like, I'm sure they could fucking find some way around that. Like, I never thought of it, but like, yeah, I'm sure they could find some way to like make the government more efficient, without hurting democracy. And I think honestly, yeah, I just remember that. Actually, what they should do, I think I talked about that on the last live stream. Like, if I became president, that'd definitely be what I'd run on. Yeah, I think they should have some polls. It shouldn't be like some Twitter polls or some shit. Like, they should have some like system. They should set up a system where like you actually like have to register for this. Like, you have IDs and stuff. Like, you have a whole system where like yeah, you could vote on individual policies, and like, yeah, there should be polls. Now, maybe not online, because that shit could be rigged. Maybe by mail or something. Like, yeah, pretty much every new law, I think there should be polls, as to, like, maybe people saying, what law would you rather see put? Maybe put, like, fourth thing, maybe like, the leaders would give like different fucking options as to what they could concentrate on, and the people could vote on what they'd rather see. But like, yeah, I think with every law, definitely, like, firstly, that every law that is going to be meaningful, like, yeah, I think there should be some type of poll, some type of voting system where individual citizens can vote on like the laws that are going to impact them most, at least. Like, yeah, like, they could fucking make that work, and yeah, citizens should directly choose, especially things like Roe v. Wade. Like, yeah, the Supreme Court shouldn't get to choose shit like that, but
we always have known that this was not the end. It was only the beginning of our fight to rescue the American dream. And it's a word you don't use. Two words. I don't want to be Joe. It's two words.
Well, guess what? That American dream, other people have it. People, for example, from Mexico, who have a dream of actually living in some place where they have a chance at life. And yeah, the American dream, it inspires everyone from all countries. So why are other people not allowed to have the American dream? Like, yeah, I guess his case would be, well, look, like the Mexicans, they're running the American dreams for Americans. Look at, like, they're coming in and like doing all this crime. Actually, apparently, immigrants are like far less likely to commit crimes than your average American citizen, and that would intuitively make sense. Like, if an illegal immigrant gets caught committing a crime, like stealing some, like doing some dumb shit, it's like if they get caught and like it turns out that they're an illegal immigrant, like they're going to get deported, so they can't really fuck around with that shit. Like, they are at huge risk of just getting deported and having their whole life just like just thrown out the window. So yeah, immigrants on average, if I'm correct, I don't believe that they commit the
American
majority.
dream.
I don't think they commit like that many fucking crimes.
That was not good what he did.
So he's talking, I don't know, he's talking about some Joe Biden gaffe. Maybe Joe said the American dream. One word, folks, the American dream.
Yeah, like, Joe Biden made... Yeah, that shit is so stupid. Like, everyone has fucking gaffes. Like, Donald Trump, I'm sure he has fucking gaffes. Like, people try to say, oh, well, because he's old. Like, that shit's so fucking toxic. Joe Biden has dementia. Like, yeah, dude, if you're on stage, like, pretty much every day giving speeches, you're gonna have gaffes. I'm sure Donald Trump has had gaffes.
Something like that. I don't know. But it's all, like, this is so in the bubble, man. Nobody cares with your little fucking side shots. Just get to the point.
Yeah,
A lot of bad things, like going to Idaho and saying, welcome to the state of Florida.
Like, honestly, if you have to smear your fucking political opponent so fucking much in an effort to win a presidential race, you shouldn't be taken seriously. Like, you shouldn't really be considered as a healthy, like, option for our leadership, because, yeah, what are you running on? This person is bad. So, basically, you're trying to win the election by having more people vote for your opponent than voting for you, because guess what? You're not gonna win the election by having people vote for you. You're gonna have the election won by people voting against Hillary. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he won the election mostly by fear-mongering about Hillary, what's it called, like, starting a war with Russia. I don't really remember that much, but like, yeah, I'm sorry, but like, if your fucking political problems, like, yeah, just great fucking shit, just like, just waste all your time so you could proudly let everyone know that you did your homework, and it shows. You are better than anybody, and like, yeah, just having your political opponent you're better than anybody at just having some random person who never went to jail, if they're like running for president, average person who yeah, probably lives an average, like, no, yeah, probably is just the average person. You don't know them. Yeah, well, that average person, they happen to be running against you, so yeah, you're gonna find all this terrible shit against them. Yeah, odds are they're just a person, and the only reason why they're such a horrible person now is because they're running against you. So yeah, you're showing everyone that yeah, you did your homework. You were able to find out how horrible of a person this average person was because you had to. So yeah, it shows. Now you're definitely ready for the actual, like, you passed the test. You're gonna be ready to govern because yeah, that is the skills that you need as a president. The skills to have everybody vote against the other person rather than for you. Like, yeah, if you have a presidential or any type of election, and like, yeah, you're trying to make that campaign run over, like, this person being bad and versus that person being more bad instead of this person being better than this person. Like, when you try making it go towards that, you're making the entire fucking like election counterproductive. Like, you shouldn't be giving people reasons to believe that, like, they should vote for someone to not have the other person. Like, we have so many fucking people in America. You could probably think of like a few people. Holy shit, if we're this person becoming president, like, why is like the absolute best people that a country can find within itself to lead us? Why is it always these types of people? Like, there is so much fucking better within the United States. Like, imagine, like, if you found the most, like, the person who would be, like, the most competent for the job. Like, how the fuck is it always these people who end up coming out as most competent for the job? I mean, they got elected. So, like, I don't fucking get it. Like, does America not have a better within itself? I guess, is not one person in America more suited for the job?
We love it.
Like,
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my...
like, yeah, if you aren't running on, like, if your advertising of yourself isn't what you are running on, and it's what your opponent is running on, like, yeah, it sort of shows that you don't really have much to offer.
candidacy for President of the United States. Thank you, kids. Thank you. All of you. Thank you. Thank you.
There it is. There's the moment. Look, my reaction when I heard it, we all knew it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming. But when he made it official,
yeah,
I just had this overwhelming sense of like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. We're going to have to go through every time, you know, we got to talk about some policy bullshit with him or some gaffe bullshit with him. It's like,
honestly,
Jesus.
just stop fucking talking about it. Like, I remember when, like, in 2016 and shit, like, there was just this spam fucking cancer being thrown from all over the place. Just, Trump's a racist. Trump's a, like, yeah, I just saw, like, this fucking mountain of cancer being spewed from all over the place about Trump. Like, yeah, I just realized there was cancer and I didn't look into it. Like, just fucking, just stop fucking putting yourself into it. Just, yeah, stop talking about him. Like, yeah, it's unproductive. Like, it's pretty low ball. You're not gonna have anything too fucking smart when it comes to, like, the conversation over this guy. Like, yeah, he doesn't really have anything that productive to say. You're not really gonna have anything that, yeah, you could just stop
Man,
talking about him,
I'm just
like, all the time.
so tired. This
That is an idea. And, like, then he might start dying off. not like, yeah, DeSantis is actually gonna do
Shouldn't
that
be
for
what
them,
politics
but
is.
yeah, I completely agree. Like, yeah, politics should not be vote for me because, well, don't vote for that guy. Like, yeah, with a country full of, like, so many fucking people who you see around you, who you can see so much potential in, knowing how much bigger than, like, your circle the country is, like, yeah, the two fucking, like, yeah, the two absolute top players in the game should definitely have better offer than fucking this shit. Like, they should definitely have better to offer than just, like, a contest between who was worse. Like, yeah, when you're having, like, the two top-notch fucking players in the game, it should definitely not be a contest between who do you want less. So, yeah,
We
I
should be talking.
definitely agree with that. And, yeah, that is the consequence of having two parties that pretty much make the status quo for the two halves that split, like, pretty much every country within their populations. And yeah, when you'll have, like, specific, like, groups of talking points that will associate with one party, and anybody who is willing to associate with, like, enough of those points, it is just, like, yeah, they can speak well, that, like, that's what you'll get.
More about like important things that improve people's lives, but instead we're gonna have to cover shit like this.
And we love both sides. We're going to bring people together. We're going to unify people. And it was happening in the previous administration, previous to the previous.
Previous to the previous would be Barack Obama. The previous administration would be you. The previous to the previous would be Barack Obama. So he's accidentally saying that Barack Obama tried to bring people together and unify them.
Look at this fucking guy earlier saying Joe Biden did a gap. What a fucking faggot, dude. Well, look at him now. Like, here you fucking go, dude. What a fucking clown. Look, Joe Biden's so old. Look, Joe Biden's so fucking old. Here's the man too. Well, what are you fucking doing? Yeah, here you go, buddy.
And what was bringing them together was success. Prior to COVID coming in, the people were calling me, that were calling me. You wouldn't believe it. People that were so far left, I figured they'd never speak to me and I would never speak to them. But our success was so incredible, like never before. And then COVID started coming in from China.
Yeah, that's not really an argument. I mean, yeah, COVID might have definitely had an impact on, like, you losing in 2020, but yeah, Joe Biden definitely took the major fucking blow to that. Like, dude, Joe Biden is definitely having, like, the worst fucking time of, like, most fucking presidents with what he's having to deal with. Biden came into office and he immediately had to deal with the COVID crisis, then inflation, Putin going to war against Ukraine. Like, yeah, all that shit sort of fell on him, along with him not having a majority, like, anywhere. So, yeah, he basically has his hands tied, like, a lot of the time. So, his policies, there's not much he can do. So, yeah, Joe Biden is definitely having a much harder time than Trump ever had. With, like,
We
his
call it the China
administration.
virus. Some people call it other things. But and we love both.
Unbelievable. He's pretending like, I'm a unifier, I'm going to bring everybody together. If there's one thing I am not, it is a partisan hack. It is a hard right loser.
what?
I definitely don't preach to the choir. I have a lot of crossover appeal. Like, literally nothing could be further from the truth. In this video here, he talks about how I got the most votes of any sitting president ever. And of course, Aaron here brings up the point. Okay, but how'd the other guy do? Oh, that's right. He got 7 million more votes than you did. This one is hilarious because, again, classic Trump. He contradicts himself like nothing. He acts like logical contradictions don't apply to him. It's really something.
Didn't he... didn't he say... Fuck it out. Yeah, didn't he say before the midterms, like, yeah, if the candidates that I pushed win, I should get all the credit, but if they don't, like, I shouldn't be blamed at all. Like, dude, like, yeah, honestly, could y'all just do the world a favor and just stop fucking bringing up, just stop fucking, just stop mentioning it when Trump just says some fucking gay shit because he's retarded, and it's like, what a fucking dumbass. It's like, yeah, we sort of all fucking know, dude. You're not bringing anything new to the table. It's like Kanye, dude. It's like, for your own audience's fucking IQ, like, just drop the thing with beating Trump. Like, yeah, okay, he's a faggot. Like, we've all known that for
Something special.
good bit of time.
Many have noted that huge gains we have made with Latino voters, and I believe we will set even greater records with this crucial vote in 2024. The Hispanic.
So, by the way, Hispanic voters actually flipped back to Democrats. One area, what is it, the southwest portion of Texas, very Latino area, like on the border of Texas. They previously had supported some Republicans, and people thought it was a foregone conclusion that shift is going to keep occurring. In this last election, the opposite happened. They went back to Democrats. So you cope here and be like, I got other Latinos and the Hispanics. They love me.
Hispanic voter, the Latino voter, has been unbelievable. Great people, very entrepreneurial people, and they want security. And
Great people because they support you.
everyone thought when I did the wall, I built the wall, and they thought, oh, that would hurt me with the Hispanic vote. No, it helped me because they understood. They wanted safety. They wanted security. And they understood the border better than anybody else.
I can get, like, definitely, I completely agree that, like, wanting border security, like, between the U.S. and Mexico, that's not racist. that's not hatred of Mexicans. Like, it's not a racist position. It's not a discriminatory position. Like, yeah, people who want a border wall, they don't hate Mexicans. They don't discriminatory. Like, yeah, they want the border wall for practical purposes. They don't want the border wall because they think Mexicans are filthy. Like, they have actual, like, practical explanations for why they want that. So, yeah.
So they were amazed. We started that trend, and now we're continuing with that trend. You look at.
Okay, so you're going to realize here. So he says here, I built a wall. It's incredible.
Yeah. And by the way, like, you built a wall. Good fucking job. Like, people know how to climb, dude. Like, yeah, if their lives depend on it, like, why are these people fleeing Mexico? Yeah, as Tucker Carlson mentions all the time, that country is in the middle of a drunk war. Like, these people, Mexico is a very poor country. Like, yeah, these people, they're moving to America for a reason. Like, they're moving to America and accepting to work, like, on the black market, pretty much. Like, people who will employ them, like, illegally, because you're not allowed to hire illegals. So I think you should have the right to hire whoever the fuck you want. Like, mind your own fucking business. Like, it's not your responsibility to not hire illegal immigrants. If you're against illegal immigrants, like, if you think illegal immigration is a crime, okay, but you're not you're not complicit in that fucking crime. Just like, yeah, I don't think you're complicit in something, or your complicity, like, actually gives you any guilt unless you have an active role in like in whatever action you're guilty of, like, enabling or whatever. Like, yeah, if you don't have an active part in allowing something that you're you were complicit in, it's like, yeah, you're not guilty of anything. But yo, what the fuck? I'm so fucking high now, dude. Yeah, like, these people will come over and take these jobs that will hire them at lower than minimum wage because they can. What do you think they would do that? Because if they stay in their countries, they will fucking die. Either of starvation or they will get fucking murdered and raped by the drug cartels. Yeah, I think if they're willing to risk everything to come over here, like, yeah, a wall isn't gonna stop them. Like, I've seen the wall. I could fucking climb over it. It's like, yeah, as Tucker Carlson said, if you build a higher wall, they'll just build higher ladders. And, like, yeah. And guess what? If you build, like, a fucking skyscraping wall, they'll just fucking dig underneath it. So, yeah, this whole thing of a wall, like, it sort of sounds to me like a silly idea, like a 5-year-old fucking idea of, like, oh, they just hear, what are we gonna do about all these immigrants that are just pouring in, and, like, the country can't take all these people, and like, oh, well, fuck, dude, like, stop them from coming in. Let's just build a huge fucking wall. Like, okay, dude.
Amazing success. You've never seen anything like it before, folks. And then he also goes on in the speech to talk about how under the Biden.
Now, if I remember well, like, he didn't even start getting to his border wall until, like, pretty late in his presidency, too. Like, wasn't that sort of what he ran on? Other than, like, yeah, sort of triggering the libs, which, like, that was funny. I guess this whole thing, I think I was starting to mention that earlier, and I went on a tangent. Like, yeah, this whole thing of libtards or snowflakes. Like, and the thing with that, like, I think everyone who went to school, like, I don't know, within the last 10 years, like, you could definitely see a change. And, like, before, like, 10 years ago, when you went to school, like, you said a lot of things. And there was a lot more nowadays than ever before. Like, there's this thing starting with sometimes people telling you you can't say that. Like, people telling you can't say that. Like, you're hearing that more and more now. Like, that's a new thing. Uh, like people saying you can't say that, and that the reason for that is that society is moving fast, making fast progress, like, socially, towards just being more accepting. Just like, we're progressing fast as a society towards tolerance. Science has developed fast over the past few years, which has completely just completely dominated religion. Like, religion is no match in comparison to science for explaining the phenomenons of the world around us. And yeah, science directly contradicts religion. Not that it really needs to. Religion is already good enough on its own at contradicting itself inherently. if you look at pretty much all religions, but, like, yeah, science is just taking over religion as it's, making rapid fucking progress over the past years, and yeah, we're moving on as a society, and our previous instincts that had, like, worked for us, under the lifestyle that we had lived for so many years, our instincts are now outdated. Like, yeah, having the instincts, yeah, these people different from us are bad. We don't, like, yeah, these types of instincts, don't really work for us anymore, and we're moving away from hatred. Uh, like, and hatred is really, like, a thing that is kept through religion, because, like, yeah, these religions, the thing is, they were all made, like, 2,000 years ago or stuff. Like, yeah, the Bible was made 2,000 years ago. And back then, we had a way different view. We had a way different viewpoint on a lot of things, like crucial things, than we do now. So, yeah, when you consider the fact that the like the standard position that America had on slavery less than 200 years ago was yeah, slavery good. uh yeah, it's very fucking it's very believable that 2,000 years ago, especially something that would have, like, rammed up massive support to become what it is back then, like, it would have appealed to enough people to, like, actually build itself a name. Yeah, that type of shit would appeal to the status quo back then, when that is not at all what the status quo has progressed to be now. So, yeah, religion does fucking, like, maintain a lot of, like, hateful, bigoted things, such as anti-gayness, and it all comes from our fucking, like, primal instincts as humans to just be intolerant of differences, especially when it comes to, like, ideological differences. So, like,
Administration, we have open borders. It is total anarchy. Anybody's coming in for whatever reason they want. You got MS-13, you got all these criminal gangs.
yeah, to be fair, yeah, they do, yeah, they do, just fucking fearmonger a lot. But, yeah, my point was, what the fuck? Yeah, like, the reason why you're having so much more, like, you can't say that and all, is that society's evolving fast. And, like, I don't know, like, when I was a kid, faggot, like, that's just an insult. It's not like bitch. You just say fag, like, and you actually say it as an insult. Like, when I say the word nigger, I never say that as an insult, because that's just not in my, like, that's just not in the culture. That's just not something that's done around me. Like, around me, people would say niggers, like, what's up, my nigga? Yo, my nigga, what? Yo, like, all that type of shit. And it's like, uh, like, overall frowned upon to, like, say that as an insult, because, like, people actually see you as a racist if you insult someone by, but then, like, if it was a thing, like, if it was normal to say that as an insult, like, I don't think saying faggot as an insult makes you a homophobe. Yeah, like, for that thing, like, yeah, I've never had it around me used in that context. So, like, that's why I don't use it in that context. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying it, like, as a joke. It's just a word, but yeah, like, the word faggot, you just use that as an insult, and, like, since, like, homophobia is still, like, pretty, it's still a pretty common thing to some extent. It's still a present, there's still a present vibe to it. Yeah, like, with people going more towards tolerance, there's a bigger thing of, hey, you can't say faggot. Like, a lot of these things, being offended and saying, you can't say that. Like, this new thing of, you can't say that. Like, yeah, that's a lot from the left. But, like, yeah, when you think about it, like, yeah, Republicans do it too. Because when something, like, when someone believes that what you're doing is morally reprehensible, like, yeah, they're gonna call you out on it. And, like, yeah, this whole thing of, oh, you can't say that. It's like, yeah, you could say, like, snowflakes, but, like, yeah, Republicans will do it too on, like, abortion. So, yeah, that whole thing of libtard snowflake, like, yeah, it's sort of an ad hominem, sort of like, yeah, communist, or sort of like fascist and racist against the right.
It's terrible, it's horrendous, the border is a mess. But you just said you built the wall, so wouldn't the problem be solved if you built the wall? What are you talking about? Total contradiction, doesn't care, doesn't matter. His main thrust of his argument is...
I mean, I'm pretty sure that, like, his position on that would probably be... I'm pretty sure he didn't get enough funding and he sort of had to make a compromise, but, like, he didn't get to finish the wall as he had intended. Like, he had to fight for that a lot to get the money that he did get. Like, he made a whole fucking government shutdown bullshit. Like, he threw a whole fucking anger tantrum over that and made a lot of people pay for it. Like, yeah, I definitely agree. Making a government shutdown, no one should have the authority to do that. No, you shouldn't be allowed to force people to keep working without pay. Like, people in the army, I'm pretty sure they are, like, on a contract. They can't just say, well, you're not gonna pay me, I'm leaving. I'm not working for free. You either pay me now, as that's the deal, or, well, I'm leaving. You're not paying me, I'm leaving. So, like, these people are under contract, so they would basically be forced to work for free. So, yeah, when you activate a government shutdown, you are practicing slavery. And you're also making everyone who can leave, like, you're making them pay. Just average citizens from all around, you're making them pay for, like, for you being fucking mad. Like, that's your fucking problem. No one else should have to, like, put up with that shit, so.
I'm
yeah, government shutdown, so I'm totally, against that.
Everybody who's not me is a terrible. Like, there doesn't have to be an actual argument at the core of it.
Yeah. Pretty fair.
This part is cringe. This is a thing that Trump has now added into his repertoire.
Like, yeah, he does tend to just, like, have this toxic vibe where he's just like, oh yeah, my opponent's just a fucking nigger, like, yeah.
For his rallies. So weird. Listen to this.
And I was with President Xi, who's now president for life.
Didn't he say that, like, he likes the idea of being president for life? And, like, as far as I understand it, Putin is pretty much president for life too. Do you have a problem with that?
I call him king. He said, no, I'm not the king. I said, yes, you are the king. You're president for life. It's the same thing.
Yeah, didn't he say that he, like, president for life? Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. Dude, Putin is also president for life, as far as I understand. So,
I mean, look, he does have sort of a
pretty cringe
affair with anybody who's an authoritarian leader. There's something about that he loves because he's so power hungry. He wants that. And so he sees somebody who is that, and he's jealous. I call him king.
Right. Is he jealous of Putin? Like,
I say he's wonderful. I say he's amazing. I say he's brilliant. More on the Green New Deal. Again, this was such a partisan speech. It's so... There was that one line about how I unify people. I bring people together. I'm bipartisan. Of course, that's bullshit. But then the rest of it is just like, this Green New Deal, which has not been implemented and is not a thing anymore, is really destroying this country, folks.
Really bad. The socialist disaster known as the Green New Deal, which is destroying our country, and the many...
It's not law. It's not implemented.
Yeah,
It's not implemented. How does he just say this? He just says shit. It's really there's not a single other person in politics that plays this fast and loose with the facts.
Yeah, that.
You know, and I'm a huge opponent of your standard establishment Republican. But, like, the truth value claims of, like, a Mitt Romney speech are way better than this. The Green New Deal, which is destroying our country, even though it's not implemented and nobody's even talking about it and it's not a thing, but it's destroying our country.
Talking about Biden having gas, dude. Like, you really have fucking gas. That's fucking hilarious. Like, yeah, he's saying it's destroying our country, and apparently it's not even implemented yet. What a fucking champ, dude. That's fucking
regulations
hilarious.
That it has spawned.
There you go, dude. That's
will be immediately terminated so that our country can again breathe and grow and thrive like it should.
Sounds like a character.
Terminate the non-existent law. Look, if it were law, I have no doubt he would terminate it. You want to know why? Because he did the exact same thing with the Paris Climate Agreement. He pulled out of it.
Fucking
amazing, he was like, fuck this.
Dude.
I'm done with it. He did the exact same thing with the Iran deal. Fuck that. I'm pulling out of it. I'm done with it. So if it was law, I have no doubt if he were president, he'd pull right out of it. But it's not law. So I would imagine a scenario where he does get elected and he's back in the White House, God forbid, and then he says, like, all right, come on, give me the papers. We're going to get rid of that Green New Deal. Somebody would have to be like, sir? That's not a law. That's not a thing. I think he might actually be surprised by that.
That's fucking amazing.
What? I don't understand. But every time I watch One America News Network and Newsmax, they make it seem like it's a real thing and it's already implemented. No, it's not, sir.
Yeah, if you're gonna be so affirmative and you being right, yeah, you should watch both sides. It's like, yeah, Joe Biden's, I mean, Donald Trump's gonna watch Fox News, Joe Biden's gonna watch CNN. It's like, actually go in there and debunk the other people's sides. Like, actually watch both. And, like, debunk them.
Unbelievable. All right, I got a couple more here for you. So we completed the wall, standard bullshit, blah, blah, blah. You know, remember how we just said, like, I'm a unifier, I bring people together, even the far left likes me, the far left people like me. Listen to this.
These are gang members that will kill, and they like using knives because a knife is more painful than a gun. You've read the stories, MS-13. These are savages. They say, oh, please don't use that name. They're people. No, they're not. These are savages. And these are gang members that...
He's rolling out his attempted greatest hits, but it's just stale. It's just tired at this point. I don't know how anybody can listen to this and be like,
say that, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's offensive.
He's really up with the times and hitting the right notes. And then we'll end on this part right here, okay?
I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't making
so this
that
is
up either, to be honest.
A line he's been including.
People legit just go full fucking triggered snowflake around them for some reason. Like, honestly, Democrats literally, like, gave Trump the fucking presidency for him. Like, CNN legit, like, fucking, like, put Donald Trump into power. Like, they kept fucking smearing him with just dumb shit. Like, I remember when, like, my mother's always been, like, really fucking anti-Trump, of course. Like, she's really on the left, and, like, yeah, like, dude, yeah, my mother's a socialist, but, like, what the fuck was I saying? I'm so fucking high. Dude, wait.
Anybody can listen to this and be like, yeah, man, he's really up with the times and hitting the right notes. And then we'll end on this part right here, okay? So this is,
No, that's not.
Unbelievable. All right, I got a couple more here for you.
What the fuck was I? I'm actually gonna have to rewatch.
No,
Jesus.
unbelievable.
Christ.
All right, I got a couple more.
What the fuck was I saying? I'm so fucking snowflake around them for some reason. Like, oh yeah. Honestly, Democrats are literally, yeah, like CNN pretty much handed Trump the presidency. Like with just constantly smearing Trump and just being complete degenerates. Well, like constantly fucking being obsessed with this guy. Like anything he'd fucking say, like just fucking having a mental breakdown over it. Like I remember, like when this whole thing with Trump was a thing, and like my mother would constantly be like dumping on Trump, and I'd be like, people constantly say he's a racist. I actually saw a video of this guy condemning the KKK, and condemning racism. So like, he explicitly said he's against racism. So, he's a racist. You just keep smearing him as a racist, but you don't actually have any, like, okay, he's racist. Well, show me him saying that black people are inferior to white people. Also, he didn't say anything racist. He just thinks racist things. But you don't know that, do you? Because you're not in his head. Now, like, honestly, with the fact that he's like just such a fucking retard as I've started seeing over the past like few days, where he's like being talked about more. Like I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, like I remember like at some point, like I was arguing with my mother over like that whole Donald Trump is a racist bullshit. Like that was fucking pathetic. Like, it was actual cancer. And like, and my mother legit like pulled up a video of CNN. Like that's the one time she like tried to show me some clip to like make a point. And like the one video she showed me, it was literally a video of like somebody at CNN showing like posting posting a screenshot of a tweet from Donald Trump saying that crime is bad. And they were literally putting up that screenshot and explaining to their audience that they were making the case without any arguments that as you can see from this, Donald Trump is a white supremacist. And it's like, you're parodying yourself. Like, this is literal AIDS on steroids. Like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Like, you're literally just spewing fucking just shit posts. Like, you literally are making a video about some fucking random tweet that someone made. Like, literally someone made a tweet saying that crime is bad. Like, you're making a video about that. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, what? And like, you're doing that every day. Like, that is your job. That is literally what you do for a living. It's like, actually kill yourself. It's like, imagine doing that shit. And it's like, that is how Trump sort of rose to fame. It's like, do you think CNN might have some of the blame for the rise of white supremacy to some extent? Like, yeah, CNN and other news platforms, like, yeah, they're just trying to fearmonger about like what, like how many fucking people do you know who are white supremacists? I don't know. I live in Louisiana. Like, apparently that's a pretty red state, a pretty racist state. You don't get much more red than that, right? Yeah, how many racist people have I ever seen in person? Zero. How many anti-Semites have I ever seen in person? Zero. Like, yeah, there are about as many racists as flat earthers. That isn't a problem. It is literally so, like, out of the common that, like, people who are racist will not come out. Like, they are so at a minority. Like, they are irrelevant. Sure, loud minority. Okay, loud minority. I'm sure a loud minority isn't that much of a threat. Like, yeah, well, the country's pretty big. If you take every fucking clip you could find of a police officer committing police brutality, and you select from those, like, all the clips with a racial context is, like, right to fit your political agenda, and then you just start going on a fucking fear-mongering shitpost campaign, just saying, well, you see this? This is another anecdotal fucking, example of proof that I'm providing you, that all cops are racist. And that is definitely not a discriminatory comment against, cops, but, I mean, yeah, between that and, like, constantly just going on a fucking shitpost rampage period. Just, just going on an hour of just rampaging the shitpost. Like, yeah, it's pretty obvious, why Trump won. It's because the people who went to be his main opponents, to be his main rivals, like, yeah, they literally parodied themselves and made themselves out to be, like, legit, absolute bitfucks who were just, like, just absolute clowns. Trump's a racist. Hey, did you, like, imagine, like, the only people who are ever talking about Trump, they're just having nothing better to do with their lives than talk, like, spend all day just talking about somebody they don't even like. Like, that's just so fucking sad, dude.
So we completed the wall.
It's like, yeah, if CNN didn't like Trump, they wouldn't have talked about it. If CNN didn't like the type of shit that happened to George Floyd, they wouldn't have fear-mongered and virtue signaled so much about it. Like, yeah, the whole plan is really to try making try making black people think that they're under attack by white people and cops, so that, like, the people who are equally stupid on the other side will be like, so that, like, equally stupid white people on the other side will be like, oh, well, black people are attacking us now, so yeah, and so they can just attack them back, and then they could be like, you see, white supremacy is on the rise, and yeah, it's literally just a fucking setup, just a fucking shit show for, like, attention. Like, it's literally a shitpost campaign to bring in views. So, yeah, like, CNN legit, like, put us Donald Trump.
All standard bullshit, blah blah blah. Remember how we just said, like, I'm a unifier, I bring people together, even the far left likes me, the far left people like me. Listen to this.
Yeah, I think what he's saying in that context would be more like, I bring the far left people to like realize that I'm right on certain things. I bring them to their senses, and I actually, like, bring them over to my side. I think that'd be more what he's saying than even far left people, like, even as being far left, they'll still route
The
to
gang
me.
members that will
Like, I
kill,
don't
and they
think
like
that's what
using
he's saying.
knives because a knife is more painful than a gun. You've read the stories. MS-13. These are savages. They say, oh, please don't use that name. They're people. No, they're not. These are savages. And these are gang members that...
I mean, he would really be saying, like, don't be saying that about, like, he would get offended over gang members. Like, do people not know these are gang members? Like, they just tear MS-13, like, vaguely from, like, just, like, enough to get from, like, that whole thing that, yeah, it's basically a right-wing talking point against immigrants. Like, do they not know it's a criminal gang?
He's rolling out his attempted greatest hits, but
Like, who would actually get offended on
it's
their
just
behalf?
stale. It's just tired at this point. I don't know how anybody can listen to this and be like, yeah, man, he's really up with the times and hitting the right notes. And then we'll end on this part right here, okay? So this is a line he's been including more and more in his rally speeches, and this shows you where his mind is at since losing the race in 2020.
Responsible for death, carnage, and crime all over our country. Every drug dealer during his or her life on average will kill 500 people.
Yeah, every drug dealer. Do you mean drug dealers in general? I'm pretty sure most drug dealers, at least in the United States, probably sell weed. Like, that is the most common drug to sell. And also, drug dealers do not kill anybody by selling drugs. If you sell junk food, are you killing someone? Like, the fucking tobacco industries, are they murderers? Or are they giving people the liberty to have the bodily autonomy, are they giving people the liberty to have that choice and to do whatever they want to their bodies? Like, yeah, no one is doing anything wrong by giving people the option to do that. If someone is choosing to harm themselves, that person is at blame. And yeah, you should be allowed to enable them. Like, if you do, you're not responsible for it. They made that decision. Like, you don't have to actively partake in stopping them from taking a decision. Like, you don't have that responsibility other than morally, but, like, yeah, either way, like, yeah, someone wants drugs, you give them drugs. Like, yeah, this thing of drug dealers will, yeah, I very well imagine that the majority of drug dealers, at least in America, are weed dealers. So that sounds fucking insane.
That's totally made up. I don't believe that for a second. That's absurd.
The drugs
that
they
sounds
sell,
fucking
not to
retarded.
mention
Yeah.
the destruction of families. But we're going to be...
Well, guess what? Who's destroying the families? Who is taking these drugs? Yeah, these people, like, they are destroying their families themselves, and I don't think you should blame them for it. Like, honestly, if they're putting themselves in that position, maybe their families have some blame for not taking care of them properly, or maybe it's just, like, they have problems in life, and, like, yeah, they were gonna have that anyway, and, like, yeah, if you have enough problems to resort to drugs, your life was probably gonna crumble, at least to some extent anyway. Like, at least now that there is all this fear-mongering about drugs, like, it is fair to say that it is, like, it is so fucking overdone that, like, it's pretty much parodying itself to some extent, and, like, that does, like, like, give the, that has opened the idea that, well, maybe we shouldn't take them seriously, but people don't really tend to think that way.
asking everyone who sells drugs...
Yeah, like, these people, if their lives were already in a bad enough condition for them to allow themselves to resort to drugs, for them to allow themselves to fall down to that. chances are they were already going downhill. Like, their families would have suffered
Gets
anyway.
caught selling drugs.
But either way, uh, like, at the end of the day, that was that person's choice. Like, the drug dealer didn't do that to them. Like, the drug dealer didn't force them to take the drugs. The drug dealer didn't, like, sneak the drugs into their drinks and then tell them, well, I did that, and now you're addicted, so from now on you're gonna have to go buy from me. Yeah, if someone did that, I'd be perfectly on your side for criticizing them, but no, these people aren't doing this to anyone. They're just giving people the freedom to choose for themselves. And yeah, I think no one else should have that authority over you for what happens to your life. If you're not hurting anybody else, like, and sure, you're hurting your family, like, I mean, that is a moral thing, but like, you should have the legal right to potentially hurt people around you by killing yourself. Like, your life is your fucking property. Like, you should have authority over that. You should be able to end that if you want to. Like, that is your right. You other people don't have the right to have you treat them in a dignified, respectful manner, and to have like their feelings be considered. Like, they should be given that respect, but like, you shouldn't be legally required
To receive the death penalty for their heinous acts.
No, the acts are not heinous. A lot of the time, I could easily imagine, like, everyone knows, it's so widely, like, like, talked about in schools from like, elementary school, like, yeah, this whole shit is, just spewed all over the place about drugs will ruin your life. Like, everyone knows about that. Like, people who are choosing to go to at least hard drugs that'll ruin their life, like, they don't go there just completely ignorant. Like, they know what they're getting themselves into. They might regret it after, but like, a lot of the time they will get into that because they don't have any hope for the future, and like they don't care that they're ruining their own lives. Their lives are already destroyed in their eyes. So yeah, these drug dealers might arguably be saving these people by giving them an alternative option to just killing themselves. So yeah, these people are committing heinous acts. Just mind your own fucking business. None of this impacts you or anybody other than those involved. Like, yeah, the only person who's, like, yeah, the only person who's concerned here is, like, yeah, the drug dealer and, the consumer. Like, yeah.
Because
Like, you're not a part of this. Like, mind your own fucking business.
it's the only way.
So, the first time you heard this, I could forgive you if you think that's just a one-off sideline. You know, he doesn't really mean that, whatever. He's now said it like three or four different times.
Says that he wants to give them the death penalty. I mean, that's pretty direct. Like, you don't just randomly throw out there just, oh yeah, by the way, I want to, like, kill all niggers. Yeah, anyway, you don't really throw in some, like, yeah, we should just genocide, like, this whole, like, massive bunch of people just randomly as a goof.
It's one of his main policy proposals in his rallies.
Yeah, I think that's fucking outrageous. Like, I completely agree. Giving someone the death penalty for minding their own business and allowing someone else to mind their own business as well, is extremely radical. I don't understand how a genuine guy like Tucker Carlson can still honestly support him after he came out in favor of genociding. He might as well have come out in favor of genociding all fast food workers. Like, yeah, I don't know how a respectable guy like Tucker Carlson can still take him seriously after he's said stupid stuff like that. And
Death
yeah,
penalty for drug
I don't
users,
know.
or drug people who sell
Yeah,
drugs.
that's like absolutely extreme. Like, I'm not inherently against extreme views. I actually think we need more radical positions on things. After all, radical positions make the future. If you think about any idea that we have that has only come to being what it is through the progress of the past century, all these ideas that we're now glad to have, mostly in favor of tolerance. Guess what? Before they were a thing, they were considered extreme. So yeah, back when slavery had just ended, if you were against segregation, if you were for gay rights, if you were for trans rights, you would have been considered extreme. So, yeah, I think progress inherently comes from like extreme positions, like veganism. That's seen as an extreme position. I think it has a great future, but like yeah,
Okay, this is the guy
what
who
was
signed
my
the First
point?
Step Act, which again is one of the few good things he did.
Wait, what
But
was?
are you saying I'm going to totally go back on the First Step Act? I'm going to repeal? Said it like 3 policy proposals in his rallies. Death penalty for drug users or drug people who sell drugs. Okay,
I don't
this
know
is the
what
guy
the
who signed the First
fuck
Step
I was
Act,
talking about.
which again is one of the few good things he did.
I don't know
But
what
are
that
you
is.
saying I'm going to totally go back on the First Step Act? I'm going to repeal my own law, the First Step?
Wait, yeah, actually, um, yeah, nah, incarcerated. Okay, what exactly is that? What did it do? Now, what is the policy of that? Jesus Christ, what did... Holy fucking shit, I just got canceled. What the fuck did this do? What was the policy? What was the contents of that? Don't give me the fucking history. I don't fucking care. Kill yourself. Okay. I'm not gonna read all that. I'm I'm legit gonna fucking shoot on my school. Jesus Christ. Okay. What? Yeah, what did it do? Alright. Okay, you took a closer look. So that's what it did. Oh my. Okay, maybe he's gonna tell us what it did.
Step Act? What are you saying? You pardoned Alice Johnson,
Jesus.
who was in prison for selling drugs, but she's this...
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, what a fucking retard. What a full-fledged fucking retard. Yeah, so now this fucking retard wants to ban just fucking murder people, genocide people for selling drugs, and he actually pardoned someone who was arrested for selling drugs. What a fucking
sweet
joke,
grandmotherly lady
That's
who didn't really
fucking
even know what.
hilarious. This guy needs to fucking Trump 2024. I will fucking start going out in the streets and letting people know that.
She was doing, and it was a one-time thing.
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck people go march in the streets. Like anyone fucking like that fucking changes your problem.
And Kim Kardashian helped get her pardoned. Are you saying like, yeah, we should
fucking moron, like, yeah, what a fucking retard, dude.
killed Alice Johnson? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what a fucking joke. Yeah, here we fucking have this guy saying drug dealers should get the death penalty, and yeah, apparently he he pardoned someone who got convicted for selling drugs. Yeah, that's.
And if you're really talking about, hey, we're gonna sell
we're gonna
kill the people who sell drugs,
dude.
what are you gonna do with the CEO of like Budweiser or any other alcohol company, any whatever, tequila, whiskey?
Yeah, that is a very fair point. Like, if you're going to be against drugs, like the only reason you could really provide the only logical position there really is against drugs. The only what's it called? Like a reasonable position is like, well, drugs actually are responsible for harming other people who are just innocent bystanders, because drugs actually influence you to do just stupid things because you aren't thinking straight, and when you're under the influence of drugs, like, you're just gonna be prone to going and harming other people. Well, I would say no if you're going yeah, that's the thing with alcohol, like drunk driving. Should alcohol be banned for that? And the response I'd have to that is no, people who do bad things under the influence of drugs, like, they would be doing these types of things anyway. Like, they are bad people anyway, because when you get drunk and you beat your wife, if the next day you get drunk again and start beating your wife again, it's like, yeah, who do you really blame it on? Like, yeah, who do you think is at fault here? Yeah, fuck that. I wasn't thinking straight last night. It wasn't really my fault. I'm just gonna do it again now. And it's still not gonna be my fault, because I still won't be thinking straight, even though I'm thinking straight now. Yeah, like, you can't blame the fucking drugs for these people's, irresponsibility. Like, they know what they're doing. People know what drugs do to you. If these people are choosing to do that, like, drugs aren't doing that to them. Like, they are doing that. And drugs don't inherently make you do these things. Like, the people who tend to do these things under the influence of drugs, they tend to be people who would have these tendencies anyway.
Vodka, fill in the blank. Are you gonna kill those guys? Are you gonna go after the...
Yeah, that is a very good point to bring up. Like, if you are against drugs, like, pretty much any type of drug, like, the arguments against drugs in general tend to be valid against alcohol, and most people who say for banning weed, keeping weed illegal, like, most of them wouldn't be for banning alcohol. So yeah, that's complete hypocrisy.
Heads of the pharmaceutical companies who put...
And apparently alcohol could be more dangerous
Xanax
than weed,
and
I heard.
Klonopin and opioid pills. Are you gonna go after them and kill them? What are we talking about here? What about the people who make the energy drinks, which are... Without a doubt, a drug.
Okay, buddy. Like, dude, I don't know. Energy drinks don't really affect me. I heard they affect other people more, but like, dude, I could drink like fucking 5 of those, and like, yeah, I'll feel a little like shaky. Just say fucking coffee, okay? Just say that at that point. Like, Monster energy drinks, I don't know. Like, coffee doesn't really do much to me either, but like. Yeah, just say alcohol, and cigarettes. Those are drugs.
No doubt about it. You gonna kill them?
Like, I mean, the thing with Monster Energy drink, like, yeah, you could sort of extend that to candy. Candy gives you a boost, so apparently, like, yeah, if you eat a lot of sugar, that, like, gives you a lot of energy, apparently, so, yeah, like, you could say that sodas are sort of drugs. They have so much sugar in them. It's like, Monster energy drinks. Like, I could drink, like, 5 and be fine. Like, I'll just feel really fucking, like, I don't know, I'll be fucking, like, crisping inside. And, like, I'm so fucking high, dude. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but, like, yeah, Monster energy drinks. Like, fucking come on, dude.
What are you talking about? Or is it just like, people who sell weed?
Yeah, like,
And,
that is a very fair point. Like, the majority of drug dealers are probably weed dealers. Like, yeah.
Why? I mean, Trump, there's accusations and there's some evidence to support it. He takes Adderall. Adderall is just legal speed. It's very similar to a high you get from cocaine. Do you want to kill
cocaine?
Your pharmacist?
I thought meth.
Or you want to kill the people who sell the powder version of that?
Yeah, like, honestly, I take a Ritalin. It's very similar. Like, dude, there's a lot of myths spread around that. There's a lot of fear-mongering. Like, you could take fucking, at least a Ritalin. I don't know about Adderall. Like, you could take 30 and be fine. Like, I've, like, yeah, that shit is way over, like, way overhyped with the dangers. Like, no, they aren't really dangerous. I'm sure somebody has fucking overdosed on Adderall. And I'm sure they probably took like 300. And yeah, I'm sure if you take 300 Adderall, you might die. But, yeah, that shit is honestly not that dangerous. Like, I've seen for myself. Yeah, I think there's a lot of fucking fear-mongering over that. And people like me actually need it to be able to get through their daily fucking lives. So, yeah, I think we should absolutely stop with the fear-mongering over that. Like, that shit improves people's lives, drastically. So,
That do it on the streets.
Yeah.
Like,
but that is a very fair point. Like,
this is crazy. He's in his speech announcing his run. He's like, we should kill drug dealers. That's what we should.
Yeah, I know. That is pretty fucking insane, to be fair. Wait. Hell fucking yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Okay. My headphones.
You should do. All right, I lied. One more. Here we go. This is great. So Trump if this is going to be the thrust of his campaign, he's going to get absolutely blown out, son. Just obliterated. He's going to get those cheeks clapped. That sounded gross. But wait, listen, here we go.
The FBI and the DOJ, we must conduct a top-to-bottom overhaul to clean out the festering rot and corruption of Washington, D.C.
You are the festering rot and corruption in Washington, D.C.
Everybody
your
fucking says
daughter's husband, Jared Kushner, who was in your administration, by the way, took $1 billion from Saudi Arabia. You took tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars for Saudi Arabia. And you know what you did? You vetoed a piece of Senate legislation that said we're not supporting their genocide anymore in Yemen. You took the pro-genocide position.
What the fuck?
Because you were paid by Saudi Arabia.
What a fucking fraud, dude. Like, wait, did he do that while he was president? Wouldn't that be treason? Wouldn't that be like a death penalty offense? Holy shit, what a fucking fraud, dude. What a joke.
Okay? I don't want to hear this crap.
Fucking sad.
I don't want to hear all of it.
Yeah, holy shit. Like, yeah, that is pretty much corruption at its finest. Like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, alright, buddy.
Festering corruption or rot. You're not an outsider anymore. You're an insider. You know what you did? You served your donors. That's why you threw out all the regulations that were going to go into place against the predatory payday loan industry.
I'm gonna be right back. I should be back. I was good.
You threw out the regulations, you dropped the lawsuits that were against them, because there were a bunch of lawsuits against them. And why is that? Because they gave you $1 million. You're not an outsider anymore.
Oh, wow.
You're an insider. You know what you did? You served your donors. That's why you threw out all the regulations that were going to go into place against the predatory payday loan industry. You threw out the regulations, you dropped the lawsuits that were against them, because there were a bunch of lawsuits against them. And why is that? Because they gave you $1 million for your inauguration. You are a giant sellout. There were reports Trump directly turned over foreign policy to top donors.
Yeah, like imagine
like what? Back when I think Sheldon Adelson was
talking about corruption and having done all that. What a fucking
alive.
joke,
He was like,
dude.
"Yeah, just pay me, and then you can handle Israel policy." You gonna talk about corruption? You're gonna talk about corruption. You are one of the most corrupt. Unbelievable.
Yeah, what a fucking joke. Yeah.
Man.
That's fucking sad. Yeah, I still hope he fucking wins in 2024 though. Like that'd be fucking golden, dude. I think that gonna be a lot of content, a lot of great content to see. I'm looking forward to it.
Drain the swamp, they're cheering. You
Yeah.
are the swamp. You
Yeah,
are
that's
bathing in the
pretty
swamp.
fucking
You
fair,
chugged the swamp water. Unbelievable.
Thank you. And I'm a victim, I will tell you. I'm a
buddy.
victim. Think of it.
Imagine fucking saying, "Alright, buddy."
I'm a
He's
victim.
Snowflake now.
I would tell you.
I'm a victim, by the way, boy.
Really inspiring campaign
Fucking out of nowhere.
message
okay,
there.
buddy.
You're really going to get, a movement on your side with your...
Yeah, like, especially when you're addressing the people who fucking hate snowflakes.
Everybody's attacking
Like,
poor
yeah, that doesn't really resonate well
Trump.
with them,
Everybody's
to be
attacking
fair.
poor Trump. I'm a victim. People have been coming after me. You should feel sympathy for me. Give me your sympathy votes, folks. Give me your sympathy votes. How this isn't projecting strength. This is projecting weakness. I'm telling you, he lost more than a step since 2016. No doubt about it. All right, so as soon as he announced, Joe Biden released this ad. He tweeted, "Donald Trump failed America," and here are the contents of the ad. Watch this.
Nobody has ever done what we've done in the last 4 years.
Their entire economic plan, tax cuts for the rich and corporations.
And record-breaking unemployment.
The worst jobs report on record.
Trump is the only modern president to leave office with fewer jobs than when he took office.
The Trump administration formally asking the Supreme Court to overturn the Affordable Care Act. This could leave up to 23 million Americans without coverage.
I hope that they end. It'll be so good if they end.
You also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no? There has to be some form of punishment. For the woman?
Damn.
Yeah, there has to be some form.
To be fair, like, that would make sense. Like, if you genuinely hold the belief that these people are committing murder, I mean, it's only fair. Like, you can't really blame these people for having that position. Like, they aren't coming from a place of prejudice and acceptance. Like, they don't have malicious intentions in, like, supposedly thinking there should be consequences to abortion. If you think it's murder, I mean, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I disagree with the premise that it's murder, but, I mean, that doesn't really hit that hard. But, like, the other shit, like,
And if I win,
I mean, definitely.
we will treat those people from January 6th fairly. And if it requires pardons, we will give them pardons.
I mean, to be fair, it would be sort of, like, yeah, it would be sort of, like, weird if he didn't do that, to be fair, because, like, yeah, they were trying to help him, so.
I've been getting
And
paid
apparently
$1,000 a month, if not more, just from this app on my phone.
Like, apparently he completely supported it, like, while it was going on, so.
Nobody has...
Bro.
I mean,
That's a fucking ad if I've ever seen
pretty
one.
fair,
Holy
yeah.
shit. think about how weak of a candidate you are to lose to a guy like Joe Biden, who's basically a zombie.
Dude, here we fucking go.
He's basically got one foot in the grave. There's all different parts of politics, but there's the politics part and the policy part. I think on the policy part, Joe Biden is doing much better than I ever thought he would do. But on the politics part, no, he's as underwhelming as ever.
Pretty fair.
You know, you have to listen to him on 1.25 times speed for him to just sound kind of normal.
Alright. I mean, what do you want to know? Like, Trump, have you listened to him? I mean, have you listened to pretty much any president speak? Like, I remember at some point, like, the teacher showed us a speech of John Kennedy, like, announcing Martin Luther King had died. And, like, he couldn't fucking speak like a normal person. Like, every 3 seconds, he was just randomly pausing for, like, he couldn't just finish his sentence. Like, every fucking 2-3 words, like, he would just randomly pause. Like he had some fucking mental issue. Like, dude, yeah, a lot of presidents do that. Like, they just don't fucking speak like human beings. Like, yeah, you see that a lot. Like, look at Donald Trump, look at Joe Biden, like, okay, buddy.
And you're getting draxed by that dude? You're getting draxed by a dude who barely knows where he is? Okay, I'm telling you, if it's a rematch of Biden versus...
Sure. Yeah, I don't think he would be able to be president and be on stage giving speeches if he barely knew where he was.
Versus Trump,
like,
which is
yeah, there's this huge thing of just, like, blasting Joe Biden, just hating on him for being old, like, dude, the guy's perfectly fit and capable for his age.
Definitely
like,
possible, if not likely.
Yeah, fuck off.
Good luck to...
I like secular talk, but still, like, beyond that, like...
I don't really mean that, but...
Yeah, Joe Biden's my dog. To be fair, like, he gave us a fucking stimulus check, like, my mother was able to go to France and, like, go grieve for her mother who had just died, thanks to Joe Biden's stimulus. Like, he did good things for us. Like, yeah,
he's dead!
Yeah, I'm gonna show the man a bit more respect than, yeah, you're fucking old, you're a loser. Like, okay, buddy, you'll get old
Definitely
too,
the underdog.
And you probably wouldn't like just having everybody just dunk on you for, oh, look at this fucking moron. He's fucking old, dude. He's fucking old, dude. Hell fucking yeah.
3 elections in a row now, him or his candidates got obliterated. 2018, they got destroyed. 2020, they got destroyed. 2022, the worst destruction yet. His hand-picked candidates got absolutely...
Yeah, to be fair, like, fucking Herschel Walker, dude, no comment.
Decimated. So, anyway...
Yeah, the guy apparently beats his wife and stuff, like, and apparently he was just, like, a football star. Like, that's it. That's, like, all he had.
If that's, you know, a sign of what's to come, man,
like, yeah.
He's in trouble. Alright, so now...
What the fuck?
Let me give you the counterpoint here. A new Politico Morning Consult poll shows that 47%...
Dude, I'm sure there'll be a lot more to come if he's president. A lot more memes. A lot more content for you to make, too, I mean...
Republicans and GOP-leaning independents say they would back Trump if the Republican presidential primary were held today. By comparison, 33% said they would back Ron DeSantis. So,
damn.
The reason why this is important, Politico Morning Consult, very reputable polling outlet, right? And this is kind of in line with the previous polls that we've seen before the midterms and before... you know, Trump wildly flailing at Ron DeSantis. Trump did have a pretty big lead in the Republican primary. So in some polls, he still has a pretty big lead in the Republican primaries. Now...
I'm so fucking...
But now there's other polls, too, that show DeSantis is leading. He's leading by 7 in some polls, done by reputable polling outlets, right? So, but my point is here, the point I'm trying to illustrate to you is, it's still anybody's game. It's anybody's game between Trump and DeSantis. If anything, Trump is still a slight favorite, overall. Okay.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna continue. Like, I think with time, DeSantis is only gonna keep getting more and more of an edge over Trump. And especially, like, if Ron DeSantis, like, as soon as Ron DeSantis announces for sure, like, that he is running, if he does, like, from there, I think it's gonna, like, tip over to DeSantis' side, like, pretty fast.
More. So this is the counterpoint to that. There's some polls that came out 29-point swing in just a couple days because Trump, his candidates lost and he was flailing at DeSantis, so DeSantis is leading by 7 in some polls. Then we get this poll from Club for Growth. Now look, admittedly, in the GOP Civil War, Club for Growth is definitely on Team DeSantis and not on Team Trump. So this poll I would definitely take with a grain of salt. This is not the most accurate poll, okay? But having said that, they have in Iowa, Ron DeSantis 48, Trump 37. In New Hampshire, Ron DeSantis 52, Trump 37. In Florida, Ron DeSantis 56, Donald Trump 30. In Georgia, Ron DeSantis 55, Donald Trump 35.
Damn,
so even if there's a massive polling miss, even if the margin of error is colossal, DeSantis is still beating Trump in a lot of these states at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay? More.
Yeah, like, that sounds very fucking believable that in Florida the lead that DeSantis has over Trump would be so much would be so close to that in the other states. Like, you'd imagine that in Florida it'd be like a much higher, a much bigger fucking margin.
So this is something that
that sounds
honestly is important when you talk about a general election. If Republicans give any bit of shit, what a weird way to phrase that. If Republicans give a shit about electability, right? Even the tiniest bit of shit about electability, then Trump's gonna lose.
Yeah,
because
that's
65% of the country say he should not run again. 65% of the country. These numbers are worse than they've ever been for him before. Okay? So, in a general election, oh my God. Again.
Yeah, that is a pretty damning thing for him.
Not the same guy he was. The era of Teflon Don is over. In fact, if anything, it's the era of, like, baby deer legs Trump. It's another weird thing to say there, but you know what I mean. When baby deer, when they're on their legs, it's like they're wobbly and they fall all over the place. That's what this is like. This guy is the opposite of a juggernaut when it comes to elections. He's feeble. He's weak. All right, now I've been waiting to show you guys this. So,
oh boys, what is
let's see what conservatives on Reddit are saying about Trump's re-election campaign. Okay, let's see. This is the place for conservatives on Reddit.
Oh boy.
Trump announced his 2024 presidential run. You should be able to see it straight from the Rumble stream here. In a few moments, it's officially on. Okay. I wonder how this will affect the Georgia runoff. He cost us the last ones. True. I mean, also Loeffler and Perdue did as well because they were terrible candidates. They were corrupt. They were doing insider trading. Ossoff and Warnock were running good campaigns and talking about giving people checks, etc. He's going to be the Hillary Clinton of the Republican Party in 2024, isn't he? Huh? I bet he threatens to run third party if DeSantis wins the primaries, which would guarantee a Democrat president.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure Hillary was at some point like threatening to go to war against Russia, and that's like what really blew her off. I think it's perfectly fair, like, now that Russia has invaded Ukraine, yeah, I think it would be perfectly morally acceptable to declare war on Russia. Like, I'm not condoning that necessarily, but like, yeah, I would definitely like understand that.
First of all, comparing Trump to Hillary now, and it's conservatives doing that, woo, baby. Boy,
yeah,
how times are changing.
That's fucking... Yeah, like, holy shit.
And I think that point is correct. If DeSantis wins the primary, Trump's going to be like, I'll run independent. And he'll take 20%.
Yeah, probably.
And the Democrat will just waltz into the White House no matter who the fuck it is.
To be fair, yeah, if it's Trump against DeSantis, yeah,
I don't think the Democratic will just win.
Yeah, I think if it was Trump against DeSantis in a final run, like whoever wins gets the presidency, I definitely think people would want Trump, but that does pose a major problem to Trump. Yeah.
Somebody says, worse, at least Hillary didn't run again once she lost.
Damn, holy shit.
Now, to be fair, Hillary ran a number of times, but I think this person is saying...
Yeah, and that person's also conceding that Donald
after
Trump
2016, Hillary didn't run again. Okay, more. One more loss for posterity. Awesome. So again, these are conservatives who care about...
posterity. That's a
winning. And they're like, he's unelectable. We're going to lose with him. Hard to see this goes anyway, but one of two outcomes. One, Trump wins the primary, burning everything in the GOP down in the process before losing in the general. Facts. That could easily happen. Trump loses the primary.
Dude, I don't know. Like, I could see Trump
or withdraws
Biden.
and
like, Biden is really not that popular right now. Like, with everything that's stacked up against him, like, at the wrong time. With the fact that COVID and inflation and the war against Putin, like, all that shit fucking hit him right at the same time. Yeah, he's not getting a lot of fucking support right now. Like, I could definitely see
runs
that
third
happen.
party guaranteeing the Democrats win 2024 in a landslide. Again, this is not Kyle Kalinske saying this. This is conservatives on Reddit. Do I have any more here? Trump announces he will lose us the 2024 election and hand a supermajority over to Democrats. Again, from your keyboard to God's ears. So there you go, man. I mean, look, it is a different situation than 2016. He's weaker than he has ever been. There's no doubt about it. He's launching at a low point.
Yeah, definitely.
Republicans were supposed to pick up 60, 70 seats in the House. They're going to end up picking up like 4. They were supposed to win the Senate and have 54 Senate seats. The Democrats are going to have 50 or 51 seats in the Senate. And it's all because of the stench of that guy. That's a huge part of it. It's not everything, but it's a huge part of it. So, we'll see what happens. I do think he'll get a small bump in the polls as a result of him launching. But he's got a long way to go. He's got a long way to go. And it certainly is not a foregone conclusion that he's going to win the primary. And at this point, I consider that pretty obvious.
I would love to see that happen. But, like, honestly, as things have turned out so far, like, I'm convinced he's not going to win. Like, I think things have tipped over for him. And, like, yeah, he's probably fucked.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor.
Alright, well, I was gonna watch this video too. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Like, yeah, I'm really fucking high, and I don't think this is really a thing for right now. So yeah, I'll just see y'all later, and yeah.